I like that purse.
Oh, thank you. Here, I'll put it like.
That's perfect. Everyone always says, they go, why?
Be my buddy.
They say our couch is too small, and then their couch is too big.
Yeah.
And but sometimes we have two guests. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome.
Hey,
Are we
what's
on?
up?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Oh,
we're
we
starting.
started.
We're starting a new thing where we started the moment I sit down.
Okay.
Welcome to the downside.
We're here.
I'm here with my
Wow.
co-host Russell Daniels.
Hi, Gianmarco.
And our guest who just flew a red eye.
Hey, what's up?
Red eye out of LA.
Wow, thank you for doing that.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. I did it just for you guys.
Was it a?
Psych.
We're seeing Stamptown tomorrow.
Yeah.
Are you?
Yes.
Okay, I'm trying to decide what bit to do. So
Are you
Oh,
doing
yeah?
it? Is it tonight too?
you guys can help me decide. Yeah. So
Nice.
should I do something? Do you want to see something whimsical or something demonic?
Demonic.
Demonic. for our-
100%,
Okay.
So let me just fawn for a second because I don't want the whole episode to be fawning. But I saw Stamptown in Austin,
Okay.
and you were in it, and I felt. I don't know. I think I've been like in my stand-up bubble for so long that it made me go like, oh yeah, you can fuck around or be brave in different ways than just the things that you say,
Mhm.
Thank
which is so
you.
stand-up. No, because I went to college for theater and we
Yeah.
did our clowning taught by the worst tenured movement teacher of all time.
Oh no.
But still clowning nonetheless.
Yeah.
And I felt so. I released this promo today where it was a big fake flaccid penis within the that I was wearing, and
I should have brought mine.
well, I finally watched Nate's,
Yes.
and I saw. I mean, you thought my flaccid penis was big. This was, I don't even know where she got it, and I was
packing.
like, I saw it. I was just like, yes, this is. I'm on the right track.
Yeah.
I felt like, oh, I'm finally like bringing in just other elements. And so I was just so inspired.
Wow.
And it really, the show, I like came back, I saw my girlfriend. I was like, I need to incorporate more clowning in my work. And she was terrified. of me saying that. She said, there goes the career.
That's a good girlfriend.
Uh,
That's the first time somebody's ever referred to me like as a barometer for being on the right track. So I think
I
you-
doubt that. You are very respected artistically.
Am I?
Of course you are.
All right. Thank you.
He really has been
That
talking
makes me
about it for
feel good.
weeks.
Thank
I've been talking
you.
about it for weeks.
Weeks. Like
Really?
weeks.
Uh,
He's being genuine. Yeah.
Thank you
And he's
so
not always
much.
genuine.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah, some guests I go, what was I doing? Like, this is, I guess, how many followers did I have? So I'm very happy to have you. I appreciate. Did you see what she did with the Netflix sign for? You don't follow enough things. Well, we were complaining. We did our show for the Netflix festival at West Side Comedy Club. Not a very big stage.
Right. Yes.
Certainly, no one should do sketch there ever again. I'm pronouncing it now.
Yeah.
No.
And that block took up a third of the stage.
Yeah.
It's enormous.
Those big
It's
big
insane.
block. Yeah.
Yeah, it's absolutely. I covered mine. That was 2 years ago, right? With the big block.
It was
Or you
this
just-
year.
This year they had another big block.
What was the video you just posted? Was that from this year or last
The
year?
one where I covered it with a black sheet.
Yeah.
That was from 2 years ago.
Oh.
But it was enormous. And then this year I said that they hired me to be the sign, and then I did a bunch of naughty things while I was wearing the sign.
She was wearing the sign,
Oh.
and it looks you made it.
I made it, but they gave me a sticker. I just asked. I said, "Do you have any spare signs?" And they said, "We have these stickers."
I feel like that's one of the skills that you have is also just prop creation and costume creation in a way that so few people do, so you can really make it happen.
Thank you. I mean, unfortunately, I have to admit I'm a prop comedian, I guess. I'm making so many props all this. I brought
I have 4 floppy dildos in the other room, so I'm
Do
I'm
you?
on board.
Wow.
We tried a sketch with dildo. We had one, and I had an
Yes.
idea, so then I bought 3 more, and then it bombed, and then we cut it, and now I
Yeah.
just have 4
4
floppy dildos.
I
floppy
feel so
dildos.
connected to you right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
It was like $200 you spent. on
Yeah.
that.
I mean, the dildos are expensive. Where do you get yours?
You just got them from Amazon,
We
right?
could talk shop
yeah.
later.
Yeah.
I
But
usually
yours was huge and Nate.
yes, but they stopped making my model.
Really?
Yeah,
Was there a reason why?
I don't know, but I got
They thought you degraded the dildo with your show. They
Something.
said this is too dirty.
Well, I liked getting the pink skin tone, so I got the extra large and the pink skin tone, and they stopped making it in that color, and they still make it in like a white skin tone, but it just looks like
You want a pink dick?
it just looks too
Yeah.
peachy. It looks like the fake crayon, you know,
sure.
like skin color crayon, and it just like the pink one looks like some blood's running through it. It's like more accurate. You know what I'm saying?
Yours was a little too. I felt like
You thought it was too tan.
yeah.
And,
Exactly.
But then I
Yeah.
got the white one, and the white one was like.
I agree. The
to
white
be
one
honest,
was too,
I think it would be perfect for your skin
Really?
tone, but for me,
Okay.
it was a little
white. Yeah.
a little white,
A little too white.
Yeah.
A little
Okay.
too white,
Yeah,
yeah.
they need more variation.
Yeah.
Any prop? Because welcome to the downside. This is a show where we get negative, we complain, we talk about failures. I don't want you to. You know what I thought the other day? I thought about how when I listen to like Conan O'Brien's show, I feel like bad about. I'm like, wow, their lives are all so successful and great.
Yeah.
This is a show where I want you to feel good that you're no one in this room right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my
Yeah.
goal.
Yeah.
Was there ever a prop that was disastrous failure?
Oh my God. Well, the first thing that pops in my head was I was doing this show at UCB called The Celebrity Barf Machine. It's a gross out show. And this is like my biggest regret of all time in comedy. I don't know if this is a prop fail. It is to me. I was playing Donald Trump's ex-wife who said that she still needed to ice her pussy from how he fucked her.
Oh my God.
And I put like a popsicle up my pussy
Yeah.
for the bit. And it was the most excruciating pain I've ever been in my entire life. And I had looked it up beforehand, and some freaks on the internet were like, yeah, we do this in the bedroom all the time. It's like
Now was
great
it
for foreplay.
was it the cold that hurt, or was it the like?
Yes.
Like okay.
It was freezer burn. I
Okay.
freezer burnt my pussy. And then also insane yeast infection. I mean,
Oh no.
I had put it in a condom to try to avoid like
Sure.
the
Of
course,
sugar, the
sure.
juices going in, but the condom slipped right off.
Well, it's melting. It's
Yes.
getting smaller.
That's always what the popsicle
Immediately.
says.
Immediately melted. I mean, the pussy's like an oven. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, it
Yeah.
immediately. Listen.
Plus, you're performing.
Yeah.
You're hot
Yeah.
up there. It's
Yeah,
hot, you know,
exactly.
yeah, yeah.
Adrenaline's going. And I thought, this so naive, I thought that it was going to be difficult for it to go in. I thought my vagina wouldn't want to receive it. Slipped right in immediately. And this is like, there's still another act on stage. I have
Yeah.
like about 5 minutes. I thought it was going to be difficult. So I was like, let me give myself some time. Pop it in, immediately melts. Okay. And my vagina is on fire because it's so cold. And then I get called out. I'm like,
Oh,
"Fuck,
you're
I
going
gotta-"
out with it in. It's not. You're not even. They don't even. Okay.
I go out with it and I reveal like I've been
She
icing
starts
my
strong.
pussy.
She's not
man.
warming up to
Wow.
it.
Yeah, and well, yeah, you can't warm up to a popsicle. I learned, and so I had to shove another one in.
So
I mean,
it's out.
because-
So it's you go, oh, and this done, you get another popsicle.
well, I was backstage, right, and I put it up to prepare to enter with it in.
Mhm.
But when I put it in, it just melted immediately, and then I get called to go on, so I had to just shove another one in for the
With another
bit.
condom, you had to put it back on.
No, there was no time for the condom.
No time.
Oh God.
And the other one was still up. The condom was still up there.
Oh my god.
Anyway.
Wow.
It was just the worst thing I've ever done, worst mistake I've ever made. And I didn't even know what a yeast infection was at the time. I was 25 years old, so naive, so young, so naive. And I was telling my friend who's a man.
Yeah, by your mid-20s,
So-
you should know.
I should know,
innocent, You know.
I know. I'm a prude, I should tell you guys. But people don't think I'm a prude because all the nasty stuff I do on
Yeah.
stage. But honestly, like my personal life, I mean, I'll do anything. Anyway, I'll do anything in the bedroom somebody wants. But
I would say that's the opposite of a prude, what you just described.
yeah, but I'm an incel.
Oh.
Oh, yes?
So like I haven't had any sex since, well, besides with myself, since October 2022.
Wow.
That's
Really?
long, right?
Yeah.
I would feel like people must hit on you after these shows and go, wow, you know, like
No.
I've always
You think
wanted
men
to
are
try.
scared of you because of this?
I think people are scared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so sorry to finish the popsicle story.
Yes.
Well, I think I finished it, but I just had to, I had to put another one up. Oh, my friend, when I was telling him the bit pre-show, he said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm going to put a popsicle up my vagina to be, you know," and he was like, "Oh, that's a yeast infection waiting to happen." And I said, "What's a yeast infection?"
I wouldn't know.
I wouldn't know that.
I know,
wouldn't
like, I know UTI. I know to
I-
wash my hands.
Yeah.
Before I
Yeah.
put a popsicle up someone. But
Yeah.
like, I wouldn't know the popsicle itself.
I know like
Sugar.
sex and water
Yeah.
could lead to a UTI.
Oh, that's true. But I thought
Oh,
that was because of
really?
bacteria like in the water.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Popsicle, I just
See,
think
I
it would
wouldn't have
be,
known popsicle. I would have thought, you know.
maybe you get a cavity.
Right? I mean, the yeast infection is a cavity of the vagina when you think about it.
That is true.
Yeah.
I saw my dentist today and he was saying that to me.
You have a
Wait.
yeast infection in your tooth. Which
What
you could
does a yeast
probably
infection
hydrate.
mean? That like what does that? What is it?
It's like, well, there's always some candida or like yeast like roaming around in the natural biome of your ecosystem down
Mhm.
there.
Mhm.
And so a yeast infection is just when it overgrows. So when it feeds on sugar. So it just
Oh,
becomes
okay.
out of balance and it's very just itchy. And if it's really bad, it can be painful,
Wow.
which it was.
Most importantly, did the bit work?
The bit worked.
Oh, that's great.
This
Yeah.
is the downside.
Worth it.
Whoa. That's sick.
Thank you.
You're listening to The Downside
The Downside.
with Gianmarco Soresi.
Well, I can't wait for you to see Stamptown.
I'm excited.
I'm excited. I hope everyone's on board.
Yeah.
I just hope everyone like loves it the way that I was rocked by it.
I hope so too. Thanks so much for coming. Did you come to the Stamptown in LA or in Austin? You said
In Austin.
Moon Tower this year.
Moon Tower. No. SXSW. I was just performing at Cap City Comedy Club. Just terrible timing.
Yeah.
And I went to the show and I had to leave, but it was you were doing the dual people, and then you
Oh,
walked out in the
nice.
audience and you were yelling at Zach to be honest.
Yeah,
or be
yeah.
truthful.
Take off his mask.
And it was just so good.
Yeah.
Thank
I'm
you.
excited. I'm excited.
Thanks. I'm doing some new bits. So
Okay.
you'll get
Great.
Cool.
fresh show. Yeah.
And you guys just did it in Netflix's joke, right?
Yeah, we did Netflix as
Nice.
a joke festival. That was fun. I'm just a part of the show, but I've done quite a few of them now, so I feel like part of the crew.
Yeah.
Or
How do you balance doing that show and your solo? So much of my life is it's just me. And like
Yeah.
anything outside of that, it's tough to make the time for, the space for.
Yeah.
But Stamptown seems to do a good job of like keeping, some real talent along.
Yeah, well,
every show.
it's just so much fun to do the show that I kind of prioritizing doing my new sets like on that show. So if I want to
Sure.
try something out, Zach always lets me try. And I guess pretty much I only have time really to do Stamptown and then my solo stuff. I'm developing a new hour right now. So I only really have time to do that.
Well, I told Russell to watch Nate. He watched the trailer.
Well, you told me last night at like 11:30 p.m.
Wrong. At 4 p.m. I
And
told
I was
you.
doing stuff till 11:30, and
We
I
were
was like,
rewatching
I'm gonna
Girls
watch
for the
it.
fifth
It's okay.
time.
Shut up. I
We
was
were rewatching
I-
the
You don't
Jerry
have to
Seinfeld
watch.
Pop-Tarts movie.
You don't have to watch.
I'm going to. I'm
But-
excited.
Okay.
I heard about it when it came out, but you just forget, and then like, but it was a
100%.
big buzz when it came out in 2020, right?
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
She knows we don't need to recount
Yeah.
4 year ago. Buzz.
yeah.
But no, I'm excited to watch it.
Yeah. Thank you
Well, I
for
did
the
I did
excitement.
want to bring up because Russell. Before we talk, I want to talk so much about popsicles. But
yeah,
now, if Seinfeld had been bold, that would have been where it ended. He shoved a Pop-Tart.
yeah, up his pussy.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
In Unfrosted.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
how
it starts.
ends.
It's like
yeah.
really, it's like
It's
really chill
really-
family for the whole.
Yes.
And then
Yeah.
right at the last scene, post credit sequence, if
Oh.
you sit through the credits,
Jerry
It's an
Seinfeld.
outtake.
he shows it at 1, 2, and then they pop
Wow.
back
But
The
out.
key is that they're unfrosted, so he won't get the
Yeah.
yeast infection.
Yeah.
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 That's how it goes.
Why was it called
Oh.
unfrosted?
because
It should have been called Pop Tart.
because I think originally the
Right.
Pop-Tart did not have the frosting on it.
Shut up.
And I think it was like it's unvarnished. It's the
Oh, like untold, like the like
raw
uncensored.
Story.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's what he's going for.
I haven't told you yet, but when we're doing a live Patreon episode tonight. We're gonna open it. We won't release it publicly, just for the Patreon. We're gonna talk about that movie for because I think it's important. I think comedians. We're not talking enough shit anymore, and we have lost the filter of what makes comedy good because what is Jerry Seinfeld going to offer me right now? He doesn't have a podcast.
yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I'm not in the movie. He's never making another
You're the
movie
only
again.
one.
I'll tell you that
You're
right
not-
now.
You're the only one not in that movie, by the way.
Even though it did so well at the box office.
It did?
No,
Just
it's just
kidding.
Netflix.
Oh no. Good. Well, let me call out that joke since we're calling out comedians right out the gate. Did you watch it?
I haven't watched yet, but there was a lot of good buzz around it.
Was there buzz around it?
Wasn't there?
Were you at the
I
Netflix
asked
as a joke
someone-
festival? And there was Netflix executives being like, ooh,
I asked someone from Netflix and they said, haven't heard anything about it. And I think that was the
Yeah.
most they could say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we got to start talking shit again because
Let's talk shit, dude.
I cannot
Yes.
stand interviews asking a guy who made the worst comedy in the last 100 years, what's the secret to comedy?
Yeah.
And then we have to listen. And then we we get to hear him talk about cancel culture.
He's talking about what he can't do,
joke.
and then you watch that movie and you're like, what was left on the cutting room floor? Like what were you?
There's nothing
There's not
offensive.
one joke that you're like, oh wow, he's
he made some good stuff. I mean, the sitcom guys.
I'm a Seinfeld.
Right?
I'm a Seinfeld fan.
Yeah.
But that was a long
time ago.
It was one thing.
And isn't that our greatest fear, to like age out of being
It's money. It's
good?
money. You cannot be that
It
rich.
ruins you. It ruins everybody, you think?
I was thinking
think
about
to a certain extent, yes.
I was just thinking about, again, I've just been about your comedy. There's parts of it that are so dirty and so grungy and so just like
it can get nasty.
It can get nasty, and you sacrifice. I mean, your body
Anarchy.
for it.
That's true. I'm achy.
And like there's no way Seinfeld's ever going to do a bit where someone picks him up by his nipples.
Can I tell you?
He's like, oh, why would I do that to myself?
Yeah,
For
and
a
I think he'd
laugh.
be weird about a woman doing it. Like he'd be like,
of course.
he'd be like grossed out and
Not
like a
on
weird,
board.
yeah.
He wants people to be not PC and stuff, and until a woman takes her nipples out, and then he's like, "What's going on
yeah,
here?"
What's the deal
Well,
with these
what's the
nipples out
deal?
here? I want to do that bit with Russell where he just picks me
I'll
up
do
by
it right
my
now.
Yeah, Zach picks me up by my nipples. And,
I've heard.
Now you're using your legs to like make it
oh
happen.
yeah, it's mostly core
Sure.
work going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, legs and core and arms as well. I'm like lifting myself with my arms.
Yeah.
But before we
It
move on,
looks like it makes you go, oh my God.
You gasp.
So you think they're gonna pop off.
Yeah.
do you?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
It's the visual. It
visceral.
works.
Yeah.
It's visceral.
Thank you.
How do
thank
you discover something like that? Is your idea or like how does that happen?
You know, I did a project last year with Zach where we had this bit where we were like fucking with each other's nipples and like twapping each other, and like it got to a place where we were, you know, just riffing on nipple play, and he would be yanking my nipples. So it just came naturally in a show when we were improvising. The first time I did the take off the mask bit, I was just fucking with him and improvising in a show. And I said, maybe I can help you out. And I jumped on top of him. We pretended to start fucking. And then I was just riffing. And we were just improvising. I just bent backwards. And he had the idea to pull me up by my nipples because of this previous nipple bit that we did the year before.
Yeah. Love that.
Can I just say, I went up before Jerry Seinfeld one time. I like to say I opened for him, but I just had I did Nate at a theater where he was going up after me.
Oh my God.
And he came in after the show. It's just always, the stage is a total mess. And he walked in and said,
You know if you watch it. But.
yeah, he said, "What happened in here?"
Speaking of, we added a sound cue. I haven't used it yet, but I did want to use it right now, and I want to see.
Yes.
One more time.
Oh,
Yes.
Do you know what that is?
no.
One more time.
Yes.
That's Hilary.
That's
Yes.
Hillary.
Wow, that really brought me back to
the clown.
Paris.
What was so funny is we had Zach, and I was like, oh, I want to play that fucking weird clown clip I saw a long time ago. So I found it. And then when it cut to you, I didn't know you when I saw the clip. So when I saw that, I
right.
was like, lost my mind. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Now, Hill's she's a friend of the pod, so we don't want to go too hard on her.
Oh, is she? That's
No.
awesome.
Not at all. No. But I don't know. Maybe she's your clowning friend. I
She
mean, I know
could
you
be.
came up together in the clown world.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far, but she's definitely a clowning associate. Acquaintance.
What was that show?
It was the most insane. This is why I think we live in a simulation for sure.
Uh-huh.
There was that
I agree.
Scientific American article that came out saying it's a 50-50 chance. And I'm like, it's more like 90-10.
Yeah.
What did that article say? 50-50? That was a calculus?
Yeah. It's
Some guy said 50-50. Let's publish it.
50-50 chance is a simulation. But I'm like, I get a call from my manager. And by the way, he prefaces it by saying, you don't have to do this if you don't want to. And I was like, what is this? And he's like, do you want to go to Paris? And I was like, yeah. And take a clowning class. And I was like, okay. With Hilary and Chelsea Clinton. And I was like, how could you say no to that? Of course. I want to fucking go do this.
Yeah.
And it was just the most surreal thing I've ever done. I took a clown class with Hilary and Chelsea Clinton. And they got up there and they tried their They're best.
When
What-
she
what
put a
were they
popsicle in
doing?
her pussy, how did it go?
Ooh, you know, it's she went beast mode, and
She went beast mode?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it didn't. She didn't flinch. She didn't flinch
Yeah,
when she
yeah,
put
yeah.
that popsicle up there. And Chelsea Clinton let me grab her boobs on camera. That's part of the thing, and they kept it in.
Sure.
And the Gutsy show or whatever, I'm grabbing her tits. And moments before, probably I can't say this because I signed an NDA, but she kind of like chewed out the sound guy for reaching up her shirt without asking. And here I am sitting across from her, made a show about consent, which she has seen. And she turns to me and says, "Can you believe he did that? Can you believe he just did that?" And I was like, I probably would have just let him do it. And then she kind of like looked at me like, how am I not backing her up in this? And I was like, fuck, Natalie, just agree with her. Just agree. You're about to do
Sure.
an interview with
Sure.
her.
Yeah.
This was pre-interview, but then still in the interview, I was surprised, like, because I had reached out to grab the tits of the clown teacher. I thought for sure, like, if anybody's going to say yes, it's
The
him.
clown teacher will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was like, no, and then she like presented herself to me and like,
Yeah.
perked up, and she was like, I will, or you can do me.
Oh my God.
And what a good sport,
Yeah.
right? I mean, this girl, she'd been through the ringer.
Sure.
Yeah.
Chelsea
Weird
Clinton.
life. Weird life.
Weird life.
Weird life to be Chelsea Clinton.
Could you imagine you get chosen for that role in the simulation?
No.
Yeah.
Wouldn't
They're like,
want it.
Ghislaine Maxwell's going to be at your wedding.
Yeah. Donald Trump's gonna be at your wedding.
Donald Trump is going to be at your wedding.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't know that?
What?
They're
Yeah.
all
They're all
friends.
friends.
They're
They're
doing
all-
private
Of
clown classes
course.
at Mar-a-Lago.
Of course, of
Also,
course.
it's so funny to imagine how, like, when you think of all the world leaders being friends from all the backgrounds, and
Yeah.
like, there's a certain evil element to it.
Mhm.
Also, how boring. Do you know what I mean? Like, that party's not fun. There's not like weird drugs at that party.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
it's like a boring party.
I bet they talk about this clown class all the time because it's like one of the craziest things they ever did.
Yeah.
Chelsea goes home and says to Bill, like, "Oh my God, the sound guy reached his hand on my shirt," and he's like, "Okay, don't look
Yeah.
up my history."
Yeah.
Um,
Then she let the clown
that
grab
little
her
clown
tits.
girl wouldn't help me.
Yeah.
do you? We're very cynical about politicians on this show.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you ever look back on it and go? Did you ever go, "Oh, should I have done that"? Do you ever see Hillary say something on the news and go, "Oh, fuck"? There's a video of me with Hillary. Hillary
Oh.
came to his show, his Broadway show,
Shut the fuck
and there was
up.
he was understudying for Josh. We've shared this
Yeah.
on the show.
Yeah, yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
Thank
Congratulations,
you. Well, it's done
dude.
now, but thank you.
The Hillary
That's
part, not the show.
awesome.
But
That
Russ,
she came.
Yeah,
That is so
she did
cool.
come. Yeah.
and I remember
She comes
you grabbed Chelsea's tits,
No,
and
no,
there was a
no,
big
no, no,
You
controversy.
too,
no,
huh?
no.
Everybody's getting to do
No,
that
Chelsea
now.
didn't come. But yeah, no.
He didn't take a picture with her. There
I
was a
didn't take a
picture
picture
thing
with
at the
her. It
end.
was-
Are you
and he got out of the
serious?
picture.
Well,
Oh, 'cause
it was
politically-
during she
The
was like,
emails thing?
no. I don't care. It was
Oh my
during the
God.
2016 election. No, it was like the week she had been on The View talking about why we needed to be bombing Gaza and stuff like
This
that.
is an evergreen thing,
Where-
though.
So
for-
it was like I was like, I don't want to right now. I don't want to be associated with this
Yeah.
person
Yeah,
who's
I
like
get
a
that.
mouthpiece for like what's happening. And
or politicians in general. I just think
Yeah.
politicians,
Yeah.
you cannot predict the trajectory of their careers. And
Of course not, yeah. You can't
Why?
predict the trajectory of anybody.
of course, but politicians
no, that's
have
true.
All
Yeah.
right,
Think of all the comics you have pictures with.
I remember
And then
when
you're like, oh no, you.
I remember when
Yikes.
TJ Miller, he was doing, he was coming around like the Village Lantern, his old comedy club, and
Yeah.
he'd be taking pictures of everyone. And this was like right in the
Thick of it.
mix of
Yeah.
you did not want to be in a picture with TJ Miller.
Yeah.
And but with politicians, they make big decisions.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to like
That affect everybody. It's different. It's different.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to brace myself to not
for when
to
Hillary
not-
comes to see
when
you,
Hillary comes
your
to see
hour.
me.
Yeah.
When Hillary comes to see, she wants to open for me in a fun little thing.
Yeah.
To be like, no, even though it's cool. I sang for George Bush once when I was
Maybe
a
that's why
kid.
my manager was like, you don't have to do this if you don't want to. But
I also would have I don't think I always would have. It just was there was a certain switch and a certain thing where I was like, right now it felt very icky to me.
I think that's fair. You know what? It was probably ignorance of me, but I didn't think about the political implications of like supporting somebody. I was just like, I need to see this woman.
It's much different. It's much harder to be like, you're going to Paris, you're gonna be on a show.
Yeah.
It's a much bigger, easier thing for me to be like, I'm not gonna take a photo. You know what I mean? Like, it's a much lesser deal.
Listen, I would have done it, by the way, I would have done it with a I'm with her shirt on, but like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So I'm not judging. I just think it's like in the last couple years, I always think about my step grandfather, but he had a picture of him with like Bill Clinton, and it was like this pride and joy.
Yeah.
And I look back and
framed.
I'm like, yeah, he had it framed, and I look back and I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
Why do you need this to mean something to you? What part of your order do you need this guy to be special
it's
and not
just an evil person that went to Epstein's Island?
Yeah, it's so interesting. If people love it,
do you think when Bill got back from Epstein's Island, Hilary was like, "Did you bring me back anything?"
No, but
she was there, right?
She probably went. They probably all went.
She's on the guest list.
I don't think it was always.
I don't think she always
chaos
went
there. Was probably sometimes it was just like
a barbecue.
A barbecue. Yeah. Like nice weather.
Who doesn't like a barbecue?
Yeah.
Can you imagine if
sides.
your manager? You don't have to do this. There's a guy, Jeffrey Epstein, and he wants to do a clowning workshop.
But honestly, I'd be like, I am going to that. You know what I mean?
Oh, if I had been invited,
I have to witness this.
I definitely would have been there just to be like a private jet to a private island. You know, if you didn't know all the backstory of it all.
Yeah. But honestly, you can judge. You know, you were saying, I'm not judging. Listen, we are always all judging each other. And I think it's okay to admit that we're judging.
Yeah.
Right?
But I literally can't, based on like who I was. I used to have I'm with her sticker on my laptop. I was like, listen, I like Bernie, but listen, Hillary, she's a snake, and she gets the job done. She's the smart one.
Yeah.
And now I see it. I'm like, what the fuck was I? What was I thinking?
Damn.
So
it's all good, man.
Yeah, man.
Everybody makes mistakes.
But
Everybody
her
has
saying,
his days.
yeah, and that clip is so funny because it's just on camera. She does not understand what he says.
No, the whole time, it's like talking to a robot person. Like, after that, I was like, if anybody is a lizard person, it's her.
She talks like she's, like, it's like a PR version. Like, she's always had to talk in a way where she's like, representing a certain thing, and so I imagine conversations are just torturous.
I mean, she's just like learned to do that. Also, she doesn't look you directly in the eye, which I imagine is some sort of tactic or technique for intimidation technique. But can you see how I'm looking at you right now?
Yeah. It's awful.
And I'm not really looking.
It's torture.
It's like
this.
And she's like, "How?" She said, "Pretty in pink today, Natalie."
Wow, you really switched a thing. Wow. That's scary. Wow.
She's like looking somewhere else. And I'm like, hi, hello. Even like in clown class, you do a lot of exercises where you walk around the room and you have to make eye contact. And she would never make eye contact. And I just so badly wanted to go. You know?
Like to break the simulation. Be like,
yeah.
I'd love to see you do a sketch with Hillary Clinton. You grew up in Pittsburgh, is that right?
Yes. Wow. You did a little bit of digging.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And you, Maryland. And you?
Upstate New York.
Very cool. Look at us, East Coast.
East Coast.
Very
East Coast
cool.
Liberal snobs. East Coast elites.
Yeah.
Is that true?
East.
Not where I grew up. I was in upstate New York. It's very like.
Also not where I grew up. I thought you were joking.
Oh no, me.
He was
yes.
he was an elitist snob. Yeah, he was like.
That's why I don't like these politicians. I grew up where they all lived and stuff. I know them.
Right.
I know them. I know their lawyers.
Well.
You know what I mean?
Too much. Yeah.
I've seen too much.
Yeah.
So, what were you as like clowny as a kid? Were you a class clown?
I was class clown.
You got it. In senior year.
I was. Yeah. I did the superlative. I think it was like most likely to be on SNL or something. But
Now, what were you doing in school to get that?
I was always goofing around. I mean, like even up through grade school and stuff, I was doing impressions of the teachers, or kids were stopping me in the hallway to do
Topical
different
cold opens.
impressions. Yeah, I had this one game that kids would stop me in the hallway to do called the hand game, where I would play this. Now looking back, a mentally challenged character who was playing like this little piggy and went to market with people's hands. And then I would leave their finger up, and then to my surprise, they'd be flicking me off. And I'd be like, "Are you flicking me off?" And that would just kill. And I would do it at recess.
And you invented that.
Yeah,
The
I
hand game.
invented the hand game.
Wow.
Meredith was the character's name. Like kind of, it's like, "I'm Meredith. You want to play the hand game?"
I just remember there was a time where Tova and I watched Hubie Halloween. And I was like,
okay.
oh, Adam Sandler's just playing
Yeah.
a mentally disabled
Yeah.
person.
Yes.
And it's
In a
not
lot of
called
movies.
that, but that's the whole thing.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think you got to lean into, what was her name?
Meredith.
Meredith.
Yeah, that might get me on the silver screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's my next TV show.
What age was that, you think?
That was around 12 years old. Like through middle school, I was doing that.
And I remember my old vice was the generic Asian accent.
Oh God.
Oh, yes.
Senior year of college.
People were stopping you to do that one.
Yeah, senior year of college. I did.
Senior year of
No,
college.
it was a joke.
Oh.
It was a joke. It was like second, third grade. Everyone was doing it.
Yeah.
I just did it
wasn't.
better. That was the only accent I could do. That's the bummer. I can't do any accents.
that is the bummer.
Except for that
Really?
one. Yeah. What did you say any offensive? You look back and you go like, oh,
Well, no,
my
but
God.
I think probably because I couldn't do that. Like I'm not good at that accent.
Sure, thank God.
So
Right.
I don't think
Just
I was.
try.
I was never.
Just try.
I was. I don't think I did accents. That wasn't really my thing.
One sketch I never made. It was a sketch comedian who builds a time machine just so he can go back to a time where he could impersonate black celebrities because that's all he could do.
Oh,
That's-
And we have
yeah.
a friend
That's
who's
pretty
just
good.
very good, but pretty much only in black celebrities.
No. You
No.
can do those good.
So you ever get in trouble for it?
I did get in. I got in trouble for some stuff. Excuse me. I took my junior year picture like in a weird costume where I like had put Pippi Longstockings, like
Mhm.
excuse me, wires in my braids, and I was wearing like big glasses and a weird sweater, and they had made me do a retake of the photo because they said it wasn't an accurate representation of myself. So I just, when retakes came, I refused to smile in the photo, and that photo is now on my Twitter or my X.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, and then I would just do certain things, like I would speak up against certain things that I thought were wrong.
Mhm.
But maybe my teachers actually, they supported me, like goofing around in class. Like my one teacher, I think, noticed that I liked to goof off in class, so he made me his like assistant, like his Vanna at
Yeah.
the chalkboard. So I would like help him in class, or we had what's it called? A student teacher who everybody hated, and after her term ended, I did like a whole class like teaching as her,
Mhm.
which my English teacher condoned and like allowed me to do. So
Do you remember that?
yeah,
character?
she like always had big pit stains and would always like go like this, pulling out her bra strap. So I
Oh.
put like big pit stains on. And, like,
God.
yeah, stuff
Oh
my
my
shirt and then would
God.
pull out my bra
God.
straps and just taught like an English class. I think like she gave me like 10 minutes or something. But oh yeah, when I got in trouble, it was like speaking out against, like in the lunchroom, they had forced the kids to like lessen the amount of people that were sitting at the table. So, a lunch table would have like 13 kids, and they changed the rules so 8 people max.
Mhm.
And I was like, that's fucked up, because now kids are getting ostracized from their lunch table.
Sure.
And I kind of like yelled at my vice principal in the hallway, saying like, you're ostracizing kids and making the kids get left out or whatever. And he was like, you're being passive aggressive. And I was like, you're causing unnecessary stress.
Did you win? Did you?
No, I got called into the principal's office. I think I got detention or something.
You had detention?
Yeah, for
We didn't have
being passive aggressive.
Did you have detention at your
Yeah.
school?
Yeah.
Really?
I don't think we
What do you mean you
had
didn't have detention? What did they do to you?
Yeah.
nothing.
Wait,
You,
what?
I think it was like you got suspended or not, but we didn't have
Oh,
like the
suspended.
concept. We didn't have
There's
the concept of.
There's nothing between like
Yeah.
nothing in suspension.
Well,
Like,
in my
Yeah.
high school, at least, you could leave campus for like food or whatever anytime you wanted. So you could get that revoked for a period of time.
still
Not that anyone
detention
could keep
was,
track of you.
because there was detention, then there was in school suspension,
Yeah.
and then there was like
In school, that's a school.
no, you go to a room all day and you're like with all the other like troublemakers and you're trapped in that room all day, and
Yeah, in school suspension. It's worse than being, I think
You have-
worse than
yeah,
being suspended
worse.
because you got to go to school.
Yeah.
Can you doodle? Can you draw?
you have like homework.
I
You,
didn't
like
get in
you
school
still have to do all your.
suspended,
I didn't either, but you have to like you still do the work. You just don't have a
You
teacher.
don't get to have fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're
That
just
sounds
in a
awful.
box all day.
yeah.
But yeah, I got detention for the school photo thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, that's so stupid. They said it wasn't an
Yeah.
accurate representation of me. I'm like, that's the most accurate representation is like me wearing a reindeer sweater with wires in my
Sure.
braids.
Yeah.
You know, that is me.
Also,
It's
why do
fun.
they care? It's a photo for you.
I know.
Like
it's
it's
a
not
fucking
their
yearbook.
photo. What is this? You know,
It was power
like you're not an
hungry.
employee of the school.
Let me see if
Yeah.
I can play the other side of
Yeah.
the school. So,
Okay. Devil's advocate.
look, if we let kids start doing this,
Hmm.
suddenly every kid is making weird faces. Then guess what happens? All the fucking parents, they start calling. They go, I just wanted a nice picture of my kid
Yeah.
for the wall at home for their grandma to look at. And now my kid is a booger hanging out and they got a popsicle
But they
up their
gotta
ass.
talk about that with their kids. They gotta offline with that.
Yeah, they gotta-
with
but
their
they
kids
go,
about
the
that.
parents
could've-
put it on them.
They could have contacted her parents and then been like, if they're like, we're fine with it,
Yeah.
then it's fine.
But then every kid starts doing it, and
And
the
then you
parents
have the
says,
most
I don't
epic
think every
yearbook
kid
ever.
starts doing it. I think kids are really scared, and like that's a bold thing to do that not a lot of kids would do.
you know why they're scared? Because we've had order for a long time
Yeah, okay.
at this
Yeah.
school.
Yeah, that's true.
And we start here 3 years
You're
from
right,
now.
you gotta
Suddenly
keep the
every
order.
parent is flipped out.
the
You
order.
have to keep order so the yearbooks look nice.
I just imagine running a school is a fucking nightmare, and
Oh,
parents
big
are like
time.
constantly
Oh.
like blaming you for
I don't know how
jobs
they do
that they
it.
should have done.
Yeah.
Tell me about it. No,
I think about when I have a
Yeah.
kid. I'm like, if I have a kid, I'm like, where would I send them? I don't. I
I
hate
think
all
about
these
that too.
institutions.
I think about that
so
too.
deeply.
Yeah.
I'd probably send them to some fucking fruity Montessori school where there's no classes.
I would send to what's that one that starts with a W? Whoa. It's in California somewhere.
I haven't heard of it.
oh, I don't know.
Can you look it up? It's like a Montessori. Starts with a W.
And where have you heard about it?
My friend's kids went to it.
Yeah.
It's in Altadena. There's one. Altadena,
I want them to
California.
learn like real skill. I think of so many classes. 70% of them could have cut.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
And also, they don't teach you anything about taxes.
No,
Nothing.
Nothing.
Oh my God,
Ironing.
you're thrown to the wolves.
Nothing.
Putting in an AC.
Yeah.
And these days,
Also, we skip right to the baby in like homes and career. Like, remember that? Like, we made monkey bread, and then we had to like raise a baby.
whoa,
Wait,
what class are
that's
you
awesome.
talking about? It sounds like
Okay.
you went to a Montessori
That's the
school.
kind of classes I
Home and
want.
careers. Is it? They changed the name of it.
Waldorf school.
They changed the name of it.
Waldorf
now.
school.
A Waldorf school. That's the kind you want to go to.
Wait, what is this? You had a home ec?
Yeah,
I did not have home ec.
in middle school.
What did
and
you learn? You said
Make
monkey bread?
Monkey bread, like you make, like you had like
Dude,
make like
that sounds
like a
epic.
thing.
What's
and-
what is monkey bread?
I've never had monkey
You've
bread.
never had monkey bread?
Oh my god!
I've never even heard the concept of
You
monkey
haven't
bread.
lived.
Oh my god, it's so
Oh my
good.
God, good
Anyways,
Lord.
it's like a dessert. It's like a fried bread, like
Yeah.
like
cinnamon bread,
And you made it
cinnamon
in an oven, a
Yeah.
hot plate, or a
No, like in an
It's
oven. Like we
delicious.
made it.
buttery
And
cinnamony bread.
So we did that, and then we had to have babies for like a week, and like we had to make the babies like
Oh my
out of like
God.
cloth, and then
you
and
had to
then
like take care of it like at
take
home.
care of it. And I
Wow.
got points off because my locker was right next to the home careers like teachers room. And one
Ah.
time I came back from class and loudly when I got to my locker, I'd be like, damn it, I forgot my baby. And she was standing right there, and she just was like, Russell, like, and I like, so she gave me points off because I like announced it to the hall. Like,
she wasn't supposed to be there.
She wasn't supposed to be there. That was not for her to
you
see.
You can't take points off for snooping.
Yeah, how do you gonna grade kids like, because like,
teachers are so fucked up.
Anyways,
and you were clearly upset about it. That's a good indication.
I know I forgot, and I knew I forgot, but yeah, I don't like, it is weird the things we had to learn, because then I don't remember anything in certain other classes. Math classes.
Oh my God.
Anything after
Calculus,
7th grade, we did not need.
No,
especially
we didn't need
we weren't
it.
doing taxes.
And you just forget it. I just go like, you could give me the first assignment for calculus. I wouldn't know how to do it anymore. It's gone.
Yeah.
It's gone out of my
theorem, Pythagorean. Well, I do
Pre-calculus.
remember that.
A squared plus B squared equals C squared.
Oh, I remember that. But what do we do with it?
You do
like, we're not working at NASA.
theorem.
What do we do?
But that, I guess they have to, like, in case somebody wants
Okay,
to
if
go
I'm going to
work
put
in
a carpet down,
Yeah.
what do I do? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
what does that help me? Does knowing that?
But what about for the kids that want to go work at NASA? They have to have those classes.
I know
That's the
one kid from my school works at NASA
But
right
what
now.
What are you going to decide when you're in 9th grade if you're going to
That's
work
so
at
true.
NASA?
I think you know
what
a
I
little
mean?
bit more. I just think the problem
Do
is
you think you know?
I knew I wanted to do. I was a performer
Me too,
at a
me too.
young
Yeah.
age.
Yeah.
Oh, I begged my parents to send me to an arts a sleepaway school, a boarding
Really?
school. Oh, I went to like a summer camp.
See,
and there were
we
a
didn't
couple
even
kids
have
from there
things like
who
that,
went
though.
there.
I wouldn't know those things even exist where I
I like
grew up.
looked them
Yeah, I
up,
didn't
and my
know
parents
that.
said, "Oh, sure, we'll look into this." And
Yeah.
I knew they were lying.
Wow. Aw.
He took care of our friend's kid recently.
I did, yeah.
How was
and,
that? And you left it in the locker.
I know.
Yeah.
I remembered it was a New York City apartment, so there wasn't a lot of places to go.
So
But
it was a locker.
yeah, she's our friend's daughter. She's 3, gonna be 4. And like it was like very.
we know where
it
it's
was
going.
Very fun.
By the way,
What do you mean?
3 going to be 4.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
3 going on 4.
But it was fun. It was fun. It was. You forget that they don't know that much when they're.
And yet they can be so wise.
They can.
Isn't that crazy?
It's true.
What was a wise thing she said to you that made you go, yeah?
No, it was mainly like things I would say, and I'd be like, and she'd be like, she had no concept. She'd be like, I don't, like she was not falling asleep, and I was
Yeah.
like, why don't you try counting sheep? Like,
Right.
clearly,
Okay.
and she's never heard that phrase,
Uh-huh.
so she was like, why? And then I was like, oh, that's something people do. And then you're like trying to explain a thing that's crazy,
It
like
probably came
that
from
does-
when people farmed and had sheep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why would
also,
you
I
think of
don't
that?
think she can count like beyond 10 really. So it was
Yeah.
like, okay,
They used
like,
to have that in storybooks though and stuff like,
yeah.
depictions of kids counting sheep in bed and stuff like that. She had never seen it.
She'd never seen that. She had no
It's
concept of
interesting.
it. So she was like, why would I count sheep? And I was like, oh, okay. It's just something people do. And she's
Yeah.
like, who? And I was like, I don't know. And I was
Wow.
like, I guess I don't do that. I don't know who does it.
You know what?
what I mean? Like,
actually did try it like a couple weeks ago. I was
Really?
having trouble getting to sleep. It didn't really work.
Well, a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Me every night for my entire life.
really?
Really?
Oh my
You
God.
try counting, you literally try counting sheep?
No.
Oh.
But you can't.
You should have told her
have
what you do.
trouble
You should have said, "Oh, just watch a TV show for 3 hours until you pass out on the couch,
That's a really
and then
sad
crawl into bed 2
documentary.
hours later."
Yeah. I watched a thing on human trafficking last night. Oh, it's crazy. Anyways,
That's what you fell asleep to.
That's rough.
no, I tried and then I had to turn it off because it was like too.
God, Joe List is a comedian, and he has so much great stuff about sleep. But he said he called his wife. He was on the road and said, "I can't go to sleep." And she said, "Have you tried jerking off?" And he was like,
That's what
I
I do.
did that before I called you. That was the first step into this
Yeah.
line of I
Am
can't
I in a
fall
hotel
asleep.
room? Yeah. The but kids, it's an intense thing though because I don't have them, and I was like,
He doesn't want kids.
That's,
I wanted
that's
to have
fair.
kids.
What? Oh, because you think he'll be a good dad?
I just want a kid. I just want a close friend with a kid. I don't think my siblings are having kids anytime soon.
Right.
I just want to know. I think the tough thing about even considering parenthood is like being a New Yorker. I don't
Yeah.
have that. It's not like I see kids and go like, oh, well, there's this challenge, or no, there's this joy,
Yeah.
and it's like it's so theoretical to me.
Right.
I know I like kids,
Yeah.
but I haven't even had to, help one go to sleep and struggle with it and feel that struggle.
Yeah.
And since I was, young,
Yeah.
I It's sad.
It is interesting to see from the out. Like I have a couple cousins with kids and a couple close friends in LA with kids, and it's just what a thing to watch.
How does your family feel when they see your work?
Oh my God, they can't watch it. They're disappointed in me.
Really?
Are they really?
Ashamed. Yeah, well, they've come around now. I mean, my mom just watched my Netflix special this year, which came out 3 years ago.
Does that, do you think that hurts somewhere deep down?
Yeah, I think maybe a little bit, but I think I've gotten over it. My mom used to send me emails. She's so funny. I mean, I think like both my parents might be on the spectrum or something. I know we're not supposed to. You mentioned that you guys had talked about that in a previous episode.
Oh, at some point.
Overusing the phrase on the spectrum.
I'm saying like my mom with her ex-husband will be like, he didn't pay the alimony this month. He's on the spectrum. And I'm like, that's not one of the symptoms.
My mom has like, she's gonna watch this. I love you,
Is
Mom.
she really?
She like.
She didn't watch your Netflix? She's going to watch the podcast
She
live?
creeps on all my stuff and podcasts and stuff. And
Wow.
like, she'll tell me like, you're not wearing enough makeup or like, you don't look pretty. Or like today, she just sent me a text today. Where is this? So I posted this video yesterday that I just thought was a fun family memory. And this is so funny. And I love my mom and she's a good person. She's just like, has like a bad, like a barometer for like social interaction and like how you should talk to people and your daughter and stuff. She said, take down that Instagram post. That is disrespectful to Luke. He wouldn't be happy to see that, and that's disgusting that you're trying to bribe him with money. P.S. I'm a P.S. I'm ashamed of both of you. And Jen Baxter, who was my friend that was there that didn't do anything, would act like that. Grow up.
What was the video?
It's just I bet my brother money to eat a big chunk of wasabi. It's like a wasabi challenge. And he like eats it and his mouth like hurts and me and my dad are laughing and my mom is upset. But she used
That's
to
the
send
tamest thing one of you have put in your body.
Yeah, yeah. Well, she used to send me emails saying my comedy's like porn and nobody's ever gonna hire me. And then I just said to her, you know, that hurts my feelings and I won't talk to you until you stop sending me those emails. And then it finally hit home and she stopped. Good. But now I think she's come back. I was like, really? Like this hasn't happened in so long, and to just get one today, I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
Is there a religious or conservative element to the like thinking it's like porn, or like when you're growing up, kind of?
I was raised Catholic, but she's like a C&E person. Like she's not devout, but she'll like bring up Catholic morals when it is convenient to do so. Like when my special came out, my dad said, "I'm glad both your grandparents are dead, so they don't have to see this."
That should have been the pull quote.
Yeah.
That's a great. I mean, I want to see that.
Yeah, but he's also come around too. They both come around, but I don't think my dad's ever watched it.
It's so like I always said, like I would never think that my dad would get my comedy. What I do think he would get would be like, wow, look at all these people that showed up and are here for it. Like he'd understand like, oh, people seem to like this. It's impressive that somehow this happened. But I don't even think that really. You'd think with the Netflix special, they'd see the quality of it. They'd see Amy Poehler introduce it at the beginning and go, oh.
Yeah, my dad watched the first, like, I think 10 minutes and then was like, I can't do this, and walked out of the room. From what I have heard, it's fine.
Who's telling you that information?
My mom told me that.
Okay.
But my tits are out. Like, I get it. It's probably hard, like, as a dad to watch your daughter, like, with her tits out on TV. Right? Like, sucking a dick and stuff. I get it. It's probably hard.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, okay, this is a little bit redeeming for my dad because my mom sent that text to me in a group text. He said, disregard mom's message. I told her she's out of line.
Okay. That's nice.
Do you remember when you did they ever see you in a show and go, oh, I like this. Oh, you did the Seagull. That was great.
Yeah, they loved like my plays and stuff that I did in college. And,
sure.
Yeah, but
what about your brother?
Yeah, my brother loves my stuff. it took a bit of convincing to get him to watch Nate because he was like, I'm not going to watch you like with your tits out for an hour, you know? And so I kind of had to rip the Band-Aid off, and I tricked him into coming to like see me do a set. And he's like, you're not doing Nate, are you? And I was like, no. But then I did.
Little does he know half the characters.
Yeah. All my characters have their tits out.
Sometimes as I think about how much I saw Stamptown, I was like, this is what theater can be. And I think about like when did I shift away? And I feel like part of it is like I feel like the more experimental the art form, the more, to be harsh, people without talent can hide within it, or ultimately like come under the illusion that they're doing something. Zach really talked, I think in a surprising way, about like holding people accountable to what's not good.
Interesting.
You know, in a loose way. I know some people like really
As
bristle
a
at the thought
producer?
of just like that if you're talking with an artist friend and you respect them and you want to be like a real friend,
You tell them.
you tell them.
Yeah.
And I just think a lot about, you know, I was talking about whether it's criticizing Jerry Seinfeld, but I think there's the real harder thing is like interpersonally with your close friends. How do you, it's like everyone wants feedback, but no one really wants feedback. And it's so
Yeah.
hard. And I remember like being at theater camps and there were the people that would gravitate towards Viewpoints. And I feel like, did you ever do Viewpoints?
Yeah.
And you know what I mean?
No, what is that?
It's like we're all gonna walk around the room and
They'll
play
put like
with
a song
levels.
on, and you're like supposed to be like tuned into everyone in the room and stuff, and things can happen out of that. Like
you play with levels,
things
and now you're reflecting each other, and it's like it's the kind of thing that an incredible movement piece could grow from, and the worst piece of theater you could imagine could grow from.
Yeah.
And I just remember at that, when I was, my most like creatively inclined, I wasn't thinking about business at all.
Yeah.
And I just remember just being like, some of this feels like it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Some of it feels like no one's making sure that it's funny, or no one's making sure that there's structure. And I guess when did you kind of find the shift into clowning? And like, do you ever look at someone doing something on stage and you're going, you're just naked. You're just showing your genitalia. You're not doing something.
What's the difference between like burlesque or stripping and like doing a piece of art or like a performance? Yeah. I mean, there's definitely a fine line, and probably some people would consider what I do to be just that. Like, oh, you're just shocking people. It's just shock value or something.
But you use it for something. I mean, you use it. It's a tool.
I think so. Yeah.
Of course.
But maybe some people wouldn't think that. But
and they're not artists.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah.
That's why you better fucking enjoy this guy.
I guess it's subjective, I guess. But yeah, you better like it. You better watch it like that.
What happened in Austin? The theater was upset at you about something?
Oh my God. They were being such dicks to me because they asked me to just send my text sheet of like everything I needed. And I have a camping shower in the show, which like has a baby pool underneath it to hold water, which was all described to them. And they told me that they weren't happy with that, but they didn't even attempt to like have a conversation with me about it. He was just like, the theater's not happy about the camping shower, and they would like to see a video of it to see like how it works. It was just the way it was worded. It was like so kind of rude or something. And I was like, I'm not sending you a video.
Sure.
I'm just going to do this.
Yeah. Also, all these theaters, you're like, what are we being precious about here?
Yeah,
at these
relax.
comedy theaters. Do you know what I mean? Like
It's a black
that theater
box.
we were at for in LA for our sketch show.
Oh my God.
They were like, you can't drag the chairs on the stage.
What?
And you're like, okay.
It's like
in the
original wooden
blackouts, are we
floors
gonna
or
like be like,
something?
you know what I mean? Like it was, they were being so weird about that kind of thing where you're
What?
like, shut up. Like this is a
Yeah.
shitty little stage. It's fine.
It's
you
not
know?
like it's original hardwoods
Yeah.
in a Victorian or something. That's crazy.
It might be original, but it was originally shitty. So like, who
Yeah.
fucking cares? You know what I mean? Like yeah.
Yeah.
You're on the board of the Elysian?
I am.
Yeah.
Cool.
I did a show I did my show there, and it was so great. What
Oh,
a great
good.
space.
Okay, I'm glad you had a good experience.
Yeah, it was just the right vibe. It was just the
Yeah.
right closeness to the audience, and
Nice. Yeah. I don't book any shows and I don't really have much power, but
Don't DM.
I do just like give my 2 cents about like what I would like to see at the theater and stuff like that.
yeah,
and
they
make
told me
sure
I wasn't
that,
allowed back.
Ah.
I had a camping shower on stage. In Nate, you have so much audience interaction.
Yes.
How many tapings did you do for that?
2.
2.
Yeah.
That's nerve
2
wracking.
an hour apart, and it was
Oh,
hell.
God.
It was hell doing the turnaround for that because I only have one costume. We were like blow drying everything,
Ay,
and
marron.
it was psychotic. Yeah,
Which did you end up using, first or second?
mostly the second show. So
Yeah.
a couple things from the first, but yeah.
But once you establish your ex's name,
Yeah,
that's
you
the
got to
name.
use the whole thing. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's
Yeah.
really stressful.
The only parts we kind of cut up were like at the beginning when I was like grabbing people's tits because I did like about maybe like four or 5 people in each show. So just like cut it down and used I think a couple people from each one.
Mhm.
But sorry, you were saying
No. Did you ever? Because there's one point where you wrestle with an audience member.
Yes.
Were there ever any? What was the bad version of that? Did you have any bad shows of where it just like they wouldn't engage, or they were like, "Okay, you're hurting me."
Well, it's hard for me to hurt somebody because I'm usually smaller than
Sure.
whoever I bring up. But I mean, there's been situations where like somebody's hurt me. Like,
Yeah.
so pre-Edinburgh, I took the show to Edinburgh, and before I took it, like I was just doing the show in the States, and I had never had like anything for them to read or tell them what they're about to do. But then when I went to the UK, they're very diligent about doing risk assessments for their show, and they were like, "You have to tell the audience member like what they're about to do, like before they do it." And I was like, "Oh, really?" They're like, "Yeah, it's like we can't like pass the show if you don't do that." So I had created like there's just a what like a clipboard or something that I give them that tells them you're about to wrestle Nate for real. Please let him know if you have any injuries or sensitivities. And please keep in mind that he's just a little lady, so wrestle gently but with passion. But before I had that note that I gave them, people would wrestle me like really hard because I'm like really egging them on and calling their girlfriend a whore and stuff like that.
In the taping, the girl did not seem down to clown, so to speak.
So there was a part we cut out where she like popped a pill while he was like up on stage. So I don't know, like, and we cut it because it seemed like
might be like,
it was like kind of dark.
She like has like but she establishes like this is my ex, and then calls her a whore from the stage. But like she did not look like someone that would be fun to talk about the show with. Like she just looked like she was like
they raised their hands. Like I'm like, why are you volunteering? Like also like leading up to that, there's a lot of audience interaction, so like what's happening in this show that I'm going to interact with you, especially when I'm asking you to raise your hand. But it has gone wrong in that like this one guy like slammed me down on like a spot that looked like the audience thought like he broke my neck or whatever. But
God.
It was like a scary moment for the audience, but I was fine. But I was like, yeah, this guy's like wrestling me way too hard. There was a point in Edinburgh where like a drunk guy came up. I guess he had heard about the show because he just came up at a random point in the show and like threw me down on the ground before I had even introduced the bit.
No.
Oh
Yes.
my God.
And then, I mean, yeah. And then there's times when somebody just doesn't want to wrestle me, and that's actually fine because I'll just tell them to like hold my arm, and then I like make it look like they're doing it. And so you kind of get some laughs out of that because the audience can see he's not doing anything. So yeah.
That one guy just heard that he could go beat up a woman. He's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I gotta get to that show.
Yeah.
And he couldn't even wait. He just like,
You come out one day, it's all men in the audience, every single
can't
audience
wait.
member.
I gotta do it now.
Yeah. What do you got, bitch?
Oh my God.
But
were you ever nervous with the other jobs that you do just
Getting fired.
Yeah, getting fired.
Yes. I thought for sure.
You do voiceover for? Do you still
like
Powerpuff Girls?
Kids cartoons. I mean, Powerpuff Girls was canceled, but
You were the original, were you?
No.
I was
I'm
like,
Reboot.
I swear I watched that when I was like a kid.
Yeah, me too. It's a great show. But
It's a good show.
I did the reboot of it, and I do a lot of kids cartoons.
And you do commercials.
And I do commercials for a prominent insurance company. And I thought for sure they were never going to have me back after the special came out, but they were so supportive and
great.
nice. And
That's nice.
they were like, "We really loved your special. Congratulations."
That's great.
And that was it. How nice, right?
Yeah.
How progressive.
Yeah, I think so. I think so much is just like coming up, like you've always been this person coming up. I think when people get in trouble, or my theory is that it's when like something surprises people, like out of nowhere, a nude,
It's a
they
huge
drop a nude,
pivot.
and then it's a big deal,
Yeah.
and everyone talks. But if it's like that's always been the
Yeah,
case,
she's
there's
always
no-
been naked.
Yeah, on Netflix.
Yeah.
Like there's
Yeah,
no way
yeah.
they go.
Yeah.
Do you feel ever like you're like, well, where do I take it next? You've pushed so far
Yeah.
in terms of like what I mean. I know I keep bringing up that popsicle thing, but like it's like from there, where do you go?
Yeah.
I'm like, it's like what's scary after that?
I mean, I definitely like to do stuff that feels risky and
Yeah.
like gives me a little bit of an adrenaline rush. Like I'm scared to try it. I think the kind of scary bit that I'm going to do tomorrow night at Stamptown feels like a little bit new. It's a Buffon piece where you're kind of meant to be like somewhat scary to the audience. So I like kind of, performing in that sort of world. But the show I'm working on now is probably the most palatable
Really?
thing I've ever done. The most commercial piece I've ever made. So maybe I'm like pivoting in that I'm
Do you think
being
you
more-
are like?
Well, I think it's just the nature of that show. It's a romantic tragedy.
It's the back and forth.
Yes, it's the back and forth. So it's a love story.
Yeah.
So I mean, there is some, I guess, risque stuff in it, but nothing compared to like what I did with Nate.
Sure.
There's nothing that divisive in it, I don't think.
Any of this makeup, you ever like it's stuck on the next day? Like you're able to get it all off?
100%. Yeah,
Yeah.
I have a lot of makeup remnants especially in Edinburgh. It's just like impossible to get.
Everyone thought you had a
totally
black
clean.
eye, just totally.
Yeah, I mean, you just rock it the whole time, the whole month.
Someone
yeah.
at a show came up to me and they had a black eye, and you have that urge to be like,
Yeah,
Are you okay?
was it that guy? Was it that guy
Yeah.
next to you right there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
That's just a
wait,
thought in my head.
somebody in your audience.
Just someone
had-
came up after and they just had like a very prominent
Oh,
black
yeah, and
eye,
it's
and
like,
there's
is
just a
it-
thought of like,
Yeah,
is
you-
everything cool?
Yeah,
You do feel like
that's
if you ever have a
scary.
black eye, you have to like explain it. I would
Yeah.
feel like,
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah.
But then you say something and then they go, this is a birthmark, and then you
Yeah.
feel bad, and
Yeah.
then you go, okay.
Oh, right. I have one of those birthmarks on the back of my arm. I
Yeah.
have a bruise kind of all the way down the left side of my arm, and
Oh.
people. I would lie to people and tell them like, oh yeah, my parents are hitting me, and then I would go, just kidding, and it's like you're just like lying. That's not a good joke. Or like I told people like this was a suicide attempt.
Oh
It's
my
like
God.
it's just like not a fun. It's just you're just lying. It's not a joke. You can't joke
remember
about
Douglas
that
had
stuff.
that. Douglas, our friend Douglas, had that story. He met a guy, and the guy was just like, his thing was he just lied and be like, "I'm kidding," and he'd be like, "My name's John," and then he'd be like, and then he's like, "Oh no, John, nice to meet you." And he's like,
Hey,
"I'm
John."
kidding, my name's Steve," and he'd be like, "Wait, what?" Like, anyways, he told us a story, and we
We thought it was the funniest thing ever.
Yeah.
And so he wrote a sketch where it was just like he's meeting his girlfriend's family, and they all do this constantly. Like, you want a burger? Sure. I'm making hot dogs. Fucking idiot. And for some reason, it was one of these sketches where we were dying.
were
in
dying.
rehearsals.
We were laughing
Yeah.
so
Dying, laughing so hard.
hard, just being this family that all lies for no reason.
So
and
good.
we did it at the pit, and we do that first turn, the first turn of like, my name's Steve.
not
Silence.
silence.
What?
you're
And we're like,
oh, okay, well,
oh,
we got
no.
4 more minutes of this,
Oh,
baby.
no,
Like,
I think it's hilarious. How did that
sometimes it
not-
just happens, though. You know,
Yeah.
it happens
It
all the
feels
time.
special to bomb, like as a stand-up comic, where it's like where if you bomb, you bomb alone. To bomb with a group
People.
Oh my
feels
god.
it's not fun in the moment.
Whew.
But we all died at the end because someone lied about having a peanut allergy or
So
something.
yeah, we all
Oh,
and
that's so
died.
I was
good.
lying on the ground, just looking at someone upstage, just dying, laughing at how badly
yeah.
this sketch was
Oh my
bombing.
God.
Well, we had that one recently too, where I mean,
You talking about my dildo one?
yeah, I mean, we in
I want to see
rehearsal.
the dildo.
In
I have
rehearsal,
one
we
here.
were laughing
have
so
one of
hard
them.
because
Yeah.
he's like, this boss is whipping this around.
Sorry to my editor. I'm sorry you have to censor this.
Oh, wait, you don't have to pull it out.
No,
You can pull it later.
it's okay. So
wow.
this
That is-
was-
yeah, that's too. You were saying too tan.
Too
right?
tan.
But the other is too.
Not you. For a lot of reasons, that's not you.
Oh my
But I
God.
mean, yours and Nate was 3 times the size.
Yeah,
My
yeah,
God, wow.
definitely. It's a big one.
There's one time you were tugging on it in the thing, and I was like, "It's gonna pull off, and you're in trouble." And then later you
Oh,
do.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh God.
It's super stretchy. And have you ever tried like hitting
we
it on the
did
wall?
it. Oh, we
So
stretched
the whole sketch was
thing.
that this
Oh,
was someone's
great.
And
fidget
it was a
spinner.
runner. It was a runner.
And it
So
was a
came-
runner.
it came back twice more.
Oh,
and
wow.
and it was just one of
Okay.
those things.
And then the
where-
third was just me at my dad's funeral, and I'm anxious,
Yes.
so I pull it out and I whip it around just to silence.
Just
and it was that was a sad day.
Great.
That was a sad day. Let me just check my watch. Okay.
Do your parents ever come see your stuff?
My mom is like on board
Yeah.
100%,
Aw.
and it's been very cool.
Yeah.
And we've in the last, I don't know, 5 years, a lot closer, and it's just into it.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
I can say
Hell yeah.
I can say anything. My dad he just is ill or off or something. But
Right.
the only time I did have a bit where I simulated having an orgasm, real brilliant, searing, thoughtful bit about
Yeah.
society. And he was like the orgasm, they went on like a little bit long. And
That was his note?
I was filled with a rage. And for a while when I did that bit, man, I made that orgasm so long.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
just 3
good.
times. I
Just
was
to
so
sock it to him.
so
Yeah.
fucking. It made me livid.
Don't tell me how to
Yeah.
come, Dad.
Yeah. But that is how I come.
That is how I come.
Yeah.
Your parents ever say something to you after a show that made you go, okay?
No, they're pretty like,
Or I guess did they give Josh Gad a note and he understood each other?
yeah.
That's
No,
so
but they haven't
cool.
come to a sketch show in a while. But so they've come to the theater stuff, but no,
Yeah, they know. They know.
they know.
You can't give me. I don't know. I want notes from some people and some people only.
Right? Yeah.
And you got to give notes at the right time.
Yeah.
There's always a degree.
Yeah.
There's only like creatives would know where it's like, well, it's done.
Yeah.
Don't give me notes on the video sketch I just posted.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
done.
Yeah. You can't. Yeah. You have to have some awareness.
Yeah.
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 Have people given you notes on a video sketch after you put
I
it out?
can't think of a super specific, but like I just know with social media stuff, I put a lot out there, and sometimes it's just like, well, it's done.
Yeah.
And if this thing was wrong, or if like, oh, I should have tried this, it's like it's just
like
done.
what is
Yeah.
wrong anyway?
Sure. I mean, you can look and it gets no likes, and you go, well, something wasn't right.
Yeah, but even if something gets no likes, like sometimes I'll see something on my friend's feed that has whatever, like 100 likes or something, and I'm like, this is genius. This is gold. Like the algorithm is not working in their favor. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's just an algorithm thing, or sometimes you'll see something with a bajillion likes and you're like, this is shit. Like it's somebody folding like cans of corn
Yeah.
into dough.
Well, my this gotta stop is if we can I can just go into that.
Do you want do your
Is that
this guy
okay?
stop? But give it a real, really set it up.
Okay. I'm gonna. Do you think I
So
give too
here's
much
what
context?
you do. No, here's what you do. You go. My this guy stop. This is really quick, and then you go into it, and I'm like, okay.
Okay, this gotta stop. These videos that are fake on Twitter
Yes.
that are used
for
to be they
engagement.
used to be on Facebook
Yeah.
exclusively,
Yeah.
but now they come over to Twitter, and it's like you never know what someone's going through, and it's like a man, it's like a person
Whoa.
on a bus, and then they're like, oh, I'd like to sit down, and it's so fake, and then the guy stands up and he doesn't have a leg, and they're like, oh, now we feel bad, and we learn, like, it's these fake staged videos
That is so
that
fucked
are
up.
pretending. They're pretending, and people are interacting like they're real. And whoever's sharing them is sharing them like it's not a joke, it's not a thing,
Yeah,
it's a
it's
real thing,
genuine.
but it's so staged and fake. And you look, and there's 100,000 likes. You're like, who are these robots
They're
liking
all
it?
they're in parts of this country we don't visit.
Yeah.
And
It
they're
just-
there and they're loving it. Facebook prank videos, what made it so torturous is people were getting paid for how long the person watched.
Yes.
So there were all these like someone about
So
to like
long.
sneak out and scare somebody, and they like they stretch it for 10 minutes. They're like,
Jesus.
Yeah.
and they do it forever. And there's the problem is there's some part of me that's like, I want to see the thing, even
Yeah.
knowing it's fake.
I know,
there's some
I
like
know.
horrible brain thing where you're
Yeah.
like, I just want to see it.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
surely you think you forwarded enough. Nope, there's still 7 more
but
minutes.
when I watch
Wow.
it, I'm thinking of there's like 4 or 5 people involved, and you can't put them together. It's not a sketch team. There's an old man involved, and there's a person without a leg, and like you're like, how did this happen? I know it's fake, and I'm so mad about it that people are sharing it, and they're like, oh, like and I've just been noticing it so much the last 2 weeks, and I feel like that used to be more of a Facebook thing, and now it's over there. It's just, and then pussy in bio, like, you know what I mean? It's just like you click and you're like, who's interacting this, and it's no one.
Yeah.
It's everyone sharing their different things and pussy in bio, and anyways, that's what got to stop.
You need real prank. I thought your TSA. Did you see? I shared it again today. Your TSA with the spoons.
Oh yes, thank
Oh,
you
my God.
for sharing.
Can you break it? Tell us what it was.
I went through TSA with a bunch of spoons in my pocket and got like patted down, and they just kept pulling out a bunch of spoons.
Were they? Did you had like different pockets? So they're like, well, this clearly
I
was
had
this.
them like all throughout my pants, but my friend who was taping, she was like kind of shy, so there's just like little glimpses. But yeah, I had like a ton of. I think I had like 20 spoons in my pants.
But
and
she did get a shot of one TSA agent. Go, why do you have so
so many spoons.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I said I just do a lot of baking.
That is so funny.
Do you do when you look at like Nathan Fielder or like doing your clowning stuff like to unsuspecting people? There's like
Yeah.
the theatrical element. Do you have it in you to do that side of it
I would
too?
love to do that. Yeah, I think it'd be so much fun.
I get
yeah.
so. I did
I
a
get-
couple
I get-
hidden camera shows.
Yeah.
What would you do on ABC?
Uh-huh.
It's very tame, you know,
Yeah.
but it felt. I just was seized with like I'm lying. I'm so.
Oh, really?
It's a real tough. I remember for stand-up comedy shows in the beginning, you know, some
Yeah.
shows I would need to bark, get people to buy tickets
Yeah,
by
yeah.
like talking
Ugh,
to them.
I've been there.
And I truly like, gun to my head, we have a thing when we reach a Patreon goal, I think 1,000, where we're both,
Yeah.
because we're both not that type. We're both going to bark in Times Square. Whoever
Yeah.
barks less, he'd have to do 5 minutes of stand-up comedy on a show, and I would have to do something
Oh.
else. But we've talked about this.
Yeah, I know.
But I like don't have it in me to talk to strangers. I feel so
know.
uncomfortable.
Right,
I feel
right.
so anxious.
Yes,
but you could.
Oh, well, if it's for something really fun, but like
Yeah.
when I first moved to LA, had this job selling scam acting classes, and I had that same reaction you did, where I was like, I can't do this. Like, and I'd walk up to them and be like, "Your kid's so cute. Have you ever thought about putting them on TV?" You know, I had this whole speech I had to say. They had
Yeah.
it written out about how, they've gotten kids on Disney Channel, Nickelodeon, and I got kicked out of Costco and Walmart and Kmart.
You just
and
went up to.
I had to go up to the families, and I got $20 for every family that showed up to the orientation. Now, I felt a little bit better that they didn't have to pay anything to go to the
Uh-huh.
orientation, but I was basically like getting the bait into the Shark Tank.
Yeah.
You know,
Were you
Oh,
you ever
God.
see
it was excruciating.
was it like you saw a kid, you made the pitch, or were there some kids you were like, well, this isn't making.
I know I do. I would do it to every kid, but honestly, the redeeming part about it was like if it was like a kind of a not a good looking kid, like a not so good looking kid, it kind of made their day.
Oh my God.
You know, that I was like, have you ever thought about being on TV? You're so cute. Like they would get their faces would light up.
You'd say it directly to the kid?
What? Yeah.
That's her job.
Natalie.
It's her job. Oh man, that is stressful.
I mean, I
If you had
made
said that to
zero
me at that
money.
age, I would have carried that to the end. Like I've been like, someone once told me I should be on TV.
Maybe,
I
you know,
mean,
I don't
yeah.
know. I had a job in New York where it was an interactive like scavenger hunt. And some of the actors got to be like inside. My job was either sitting on the Brooklyn Bridge
Yeah.
as a mental patient, basically.
Yeah.
I was supposed to be crazy. So like when people
Wait,
came across me,
what?
I'd have to be like crazy. And
You were
then,
doing
like,
one of her early
and
characters.
it's like during the summertime, so it's so hot, and people, it's packed bridge. Sometimes
it's a
there's not
it's a-
even
it's a famous
there's not
bridge.
even a place to sit, and I had like a little box that I was supposed to like give to them, and it was so stressful. And so I was either doing that or I was on crutches. With a band like a bandage around my head and my foot, by the Strand bookstore, and like having to like do like a 10-minute monologue to people.
What did you say? Like what kind of things?
No, it was a scripted. The Strand bookstore is more scripted because it was like the start of the scavenger hunt. So it was like I was starting the group off.
Oh my God.
But I would get in trouble sometimes. People at the Strand would be like, "This man is a faker." He's like, and I was like, "I'm an actor. I'm in a show." But they would think I was scamming tourists, and I was like, "No, it's part of a thing." But the group never got permission from the Strand
Are
to
you
do
serious?
this there.
Jesus.
And so but I did it for like 2 months. And I hated it so much. I had so much anxiety around it. I hated being outside and doing acting like in the thing. And
Yeah.
finally and I wasn't doing a good job. I think I was sending people along too fast because I was just like, get done. Like anytime there was people, I was like, go on to the next thing. Like, and the director, the whoever was running it was sent an email like, if you're not serious about this, it's time to get out. And so I got that email that day, and then I texted her being like, I just let you know this is my last day. And she's like, why, Russell? Why? And I was like, you said if we weren't serious. And I am not serious. I am done.
What a bitch, dude.
Man, oh man. But it was
Trying
very
to make
stressful.
you like all scared. How fucked up is that?
I think if one of the other guys was being a dick to me too. I was sending people too fast to him. He said it was every 10 minutes. And I was looking at my clock and I was stretching things out to make it 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And so I was trying to do what he wanted.
Yeah.
And he would be like, man, what are you doing? You're sending me too fast. And I just got the sense from this guy, he was taking up too much time, you know? And he was like, so you just don't care, man. So you just don't care. And it was like, I was dealing with him and this woman, and I was like, I hate this. This is not a real job, guys. No offense. Like, this is not a real,
Yeah.
like, we're
Yeah.
outside. I'm getting in trouble with the bookstore and the Brooklyn
scaring
Bridge
people on the
and
bridge.
scaring people on the bridge. It just was awful.
What is this character on the bridge? Give me a little taste.
I don't even remember the name or the context anymore. It truly is like.
Did he have an accent?
No one had an accent. But it was very stressful. If I had been inside, because some of the actors got to be inside, like in like a private room of a bar, like that's a different thing.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, this. Oof.
I like that everyone getting accused of stolen valor. Someone has to play like an Afghan war vet. Someone in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
You think any of those kids you picked out is now a big star?
Possibly. I mean, this was about 11 years ago, so it's definitely possible.
Hey.
And I would say, hey, let's say yes. Why not?
Why
right?
not?
Let's
One of them was Timothy Chalamet.
give it a silver
do your
lining.
pitch. Do your pitch. I'll be the
Oh
parent.
my God.
Oh,
Hey,
hi.
I'm so sorry to bother you with your kid. I noticed how cute she is.
Thank
and
you. I appreciate
You're
it.
welcome. Have you ever thought about getting her into acting or anything like that? I could see her being on Disney or
well, she's-
Nickelodeon or any of those kids shows. She just has such a beautiful smile.
She is
Who
cool.
is this?
You're my wife.
Oh, okay.
Well, she has school and,
Well,
and
I actually know a really great place that has weekend classes, and there's a free orientation that if you go to it, I get paid $20. Will you please go?
money's really tight
See,
for us
I like
right
that
now.
honesty though.
I would never say
She
that.
would never, of
but
course.
Oh, okay.
I should have. Maybe
I
more
did that
people
when I
would
worked
have
at
gone.
Toys R Us. People would be like, people would be looking at toys, and I had 75 cents for any toy I sold. So I would
Really?
they'd be like trying to like get me to like go really bend over backwards.
Yeah.
And I'd say to them, you're either gonna buy it or not, and if you buy it, I get 75 cents. So I just would be like because
Wow.
it involved.
What a terrible sales.
They probably appreciated the honesty.
They did.
Did they ever
Sometimes.
go like? They would go. Let me give you $1 and save you some trouble.
Yeah, right?
No, but that's how I operated, because I was like, I was not gonna like kill myself to like sell a toy for, what I mean?
Yeah.
It's either,
Yeah.
Wow. But you know what? My pitch to you wasn't accurate to how I did it because I was like very anxious and didn't want to do I felt bad. Like I was scamming them, So
Yeah.
it was more like, hey, your daughter's really cute.
Thank you.
Have you ever thought about that she could be on Disney Channel or something?
Do you really think she could?
Maybe. I was so
they
bad.
must have been like, who are you? Like, what do you work for?
Yeah, and then I would have these flyers
Oh,
and
okay.
say like, we offer free orientation that costs nothing to go.
You got to watch it's a documentary called I think it's called The Hollywood Complex.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I've seen it.
Oh.
Depressing, and
It's
so
depressing.
depressing.
it stung because those are the
'Cause that's
kids
what you were
that I
doing.
tricked into
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Or was trying to.
You're in the
Wait,
credits,
so when they get there,
casting
what
director.
happens? What's the scam? Like they get there, it's free, but what then?
You need
happens?
headshots,
then-
and my husband
Yeah,
happens to be a headshot
they get
photographer.
roped into,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
they get roped into. They just get scammed into like buying all these
Yeah.
classes and headshots and stuff like that, and
Where
they
are
get
you-
promised big things.
Where are you being sent out to find these people?
Just like the outskirts of Los Angeles, Pomona, like the
Mhm.
mall in Pomona,
do
Costco.
you have like certain places that they'd actually send you, or
Yeah.
on your own?
Yeah,
Oh,
yes.
okay.
They would send it. They would send us out. So there was a squad of us, and they would assign us different Targets and Walmarts so that we didn't overlap. Yeah.
Oh man, that's
That
a
is
job.
brutal.
That's a
Yeah.
brutal job.
That is brutal.
That's brutal. I my first up there with that was my first job in New York, was a door-to-door salesman
For knives.
for charity.
Oh.
And it was I mean,
Real charity though, like
yeah, but like, it was this thing where the charity hires a marketing company.
Yeah.
And so but the hours are crazy. You're like going out from 11 a.m. to like 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Monday
And
through
getting your
Friday.
door slammed
You're getting
in the face.
paid like $75 a day, and then
Oh.
like plus if you sold over 6 like subscriptions the week, you'd get like a $25 for each additional one. So like max you're
Yeah.
making like $400 a week, like with it was like
Yeah.
it was insane. And it was so, oh man, the people I went to I only worked there for 3 months, but I went to every borough and like was just going into buildings. And people would be shocked. People,
How'd you get in here?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
just because you would lie. You would say you're USPS, or you would buzz in and go into their buildings. Can you imagine?
Wow.
I was like getting yelled at by everyone,
Wow.
chased out. Like it was.
Oh, Russell.
Oh man.
Oh,
we
man.
do a whole thing on that. That was a crazy.
you might beat me at
Yeah.
this barking for tickets thing. Then I feel like
Yeah.
you have more
Well,
experience.
because I've had jobs.
Oh, whoa, sick
Okay.
burn.
I was a
Sick
singing
burn.
waiter for
You're a
a whole
singing
summer.
waiter.
Were you?
I was. Thank you for asking about my job. Yes, I was. It was called.
I would
it
have
was called,
loved to see that.
It was. I don't know how bad it's hard to know if it was torture.
Yeah.
I mean, at the time, I thought like I was like crushing.
Give us a tune.
Oh God.
Did you
Give us
have
a
how many
tune.
tunes did you have in the rep?
Probably 3 or 4. It was like on the street where you live, and Joey,
Yeah.
Joey,
Wow. Listen to that timbre.
Joey. And then you'd finish the song, and they'd say, "Where's the food?" And you say, "I was. You saw me sing.
Yeah.
You saw me there doing it."
Yeah.
So they were just. No one was interested in the singing.
Joey.
That was great.
Wow.
Are you a singer too?
I'm going to start saying yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I love singing.
Oh, look.
I love it. I'm a singer.
The other
You're a
day, there was someone.
I'm a singer.
There was someone in LA. there's someone in LA that came to a show and they were like, do you do acting? And I was like, I don't even know if I like acting anymore. And they were like, oh, because there's a movie that I thought you'd like be right. And I was like, immediately I was like, but I can't wait to get back in the weeds of discovery and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh yeah, I have to pretend. Yeah. Okay, one quick story from the Netflix thing. I told you this, but I did a show Leslie Jones was hosting. And they threw me on it.
Wow!
And she was that wasn't a brag, but I came up. It was a big outdoor show, and so it was like not ideal circumstances for a show. And I said, "Hey, how'd the show go?" She was off stage, about to bring me on. She goes, "Oh, it's okay. I mean, we didn't really. It's like we didn't get a good lineup for this one." And I mean, like we didn't get Chappelle or like Jon Stewart. I was like, no. But it was so. It was so funny.
Oh my god!
We didn't get a good lineup.
We didn't get a good lineup for this one, and I was like,
but it is.
I'm like, I'm closing out the show, and it is me, and.
Whoa, that is brutal, Leslie. Come on, dude.
Leslie J.
At least she's honest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
very honest. Very honest. Do you have a This Gotta Stop?
Yeah. So I was writing them earlier, and this one is stupid. But I thought cars have got to stop.
Okay.
Because if they don't stop, you could hit somebody, or you could hit an animal, or cause an accident. So cars.
Paige, our producer, could you add a couple descriptors next time you send the email for this? Put in parentheses, not literally.
Cars do have to stop, though.
Okay. So
that's why we have stop signs.
To stop.
They have to stop.
And so planes also have to stop.
Yeah.
This is the whole list.
Bikes need to stop. And motorcycles.
Boulders.
Yeah. Yeah. Even like joggers need to stop.
Yeah.
If there's a stop sign or like the don't walk sign. Oh, okay. This corn syrup and Coca-Cola only in the USA. Every other country has real sugar in their Coca-Cola.
Is that true?
Except for the USA. And the Food and Drug Administration, not to get too real with this, I know
Get real.
But I'm like, why does the FDA not care about us? Every other Food and Drug Administration in every other country cares about what goes into their citizens' food, and we get the short end of the stick every time, so people can save a buck.
Is it because of corn syrup? Like, is it big corn syrup that's like
big corn?
It's big corn.
It's big corn.
It's big corn. You know what though? And I'm pretty sure Tova told me this. With Passover, if a Coke has a yellow cap, I hope I'm getting this right. It is kosher for Passover, which means they're using sugar instead of corn syrup, because corn syrup is next to the bread, and God once said no. And so it's there.
Oh,
but
thank you, Passover.
Every time I went to Europe last year, and the breakfast at the hotels.
Yeah,
it was like it was a different world.
Oh, it was a smorgasbord.
And they had honeycombs fresh from the thing.
Yeah,
different meats, and you think about like what like an okay breakfast is at a hotel in America.
Yeah,
I haven't done with America. I'm fucking done.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
The food, I just talk about having kids. I'm like you can't.
Yeah.
I think about like what would I feed them, like this fucking shit and garbage in America.
Oh my
I
God.
don't know. It's too bad I don't know any other languages.
Yeah.
And why don't I know them? Because America only taught me 2 fucking options.
Yeah.
French.
Yeah.
And then what did I take in high school? Latin.
Oh.
I don't need that shit.
Cripes. For what?
Is Coke really better with sugar?
Oh my God. I mean, it tastes better. And it's just easier for your body to process. So apparently, I mean, all my stuff, guys, I don't know if you know this. I'm kind of an alternative health freak, which is a little bit embarrassing. Like I do coffee enemas. I have shot ozone into my vein.
Ozone
Gas. Yeah.
What does that do?
It oxidizes bad cells in your body.
Okay, we're gonna take your word for that.
Yeah.
What do you mean a coffee enema? What does that mean?
You shoot coffee up your ass.
It's like a pouch?
It's meant to cleanse your liver. It's meant to detox you. I have one. You can get it in different systems, but I have a glass bottle with silicone tubing attached to like a basketball pump. And I fill the jug.
Wow.
It's like a 2-quart jug with medium roast, organic coffee, cooled down to, body temperature. You don't want to burn anything up there. And then you pump it up there. You hold it for 15 minutes. And it's a good detox for your system.
And you haven't had sex since 2022?
Yeah, probably because I'm getting satisfied in other areas.
Do you just you lie on your stuff? You hold?
You lie on a towel. I mean, sometimes it's like not a pretty sight. Like I've definitely like.
Is it ever a pretty sight?
Well,
once in a while,
sometimes
you're
you can
like, "I
hold it
nailed
really
this
well.
time."
Yeah. Sometimes you hold it and there's no spillage. But like, yeah, I've had times where like the towel is just drenched.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah.
You get caffeinated. You get a nice little buzz.
You get a little buzz, but you're making a watered down coffee. It's like 6 tablespoons for 2 quarts or something like that. 6 tablespoons of coffee. But I would have never, I was not obsessed with health stuff at all, but I had a mystery illness start in 2016 and it was undiagnosed for 4 years. So I got into all this weird stuff.
Yeah.
And so
it's now you figured it out later.
I
though?
figured it out 4 years later. Lyme
They said,
disease.
"Oh, it's clearly the coffee you keep shooting up here."
It was chronic Lyme. It was chronic
Really?
Lyme. Yeah.
Lyme disease.
Lyme disease.
That's
Really?
bad. Lyme
Tick-borne
disease,
illness. Yeah. And that's another thing we got to stop is doctors need to stop not testing people for Lyme disease when they have
I know.
mystery illnesses. I've had
Yeah.
so many friends in the Lyme community go undiagnosed for years and years and years, and they have all these mystery symptoms, and doctors are like, well, maybe. I had so many doctors tell me it was allergies or stress.
Yeah.
I have rashes all over my body. I'm getting the flu-like symptoms all the time. They're like, you're working too hard.
He's not working too hard. Those doctors.
Yeah.
I'm getting increasingly skeptical of all doctors. It's not good because who are you going to rely on? But like,
Right.
I recently I was trying to get like a sleep medication for a long flight, and my doctor had the audacity to say, "Oh, you struggle with sleep. Have you tried giving yourself permission to go to sleep?" And I wanted to murder this man.
Fuck
I wanted to
you,
murder
dude.
him.
What does that mean?
Permission?
You're like,
Are you fucking
It was
kidding me,
crazy
dude?
that he
Yeah.
said it to me with a straight face, and I was mad.
you should have slapped him. You should
I
have
sh-
slapped him.
I should have
across the
slapped
face.
him.
Taking off your glove.
Oh
Slap
my
him.
God.
Every
Right.
doctor's talking to you like in a way where you can see that they don't want to get sued someday, so they're talking to you in this vague fucking like maybe, and they
Yeah.
won't give you
Did you
anything
try
straight.
it though? Did you say
Did
I
you give
give
yourself
myself
I did, and it
permission?
worked.
Wow.
It's incredible. The whole time, I guess in my head, I kept going, no,
You're not allowed.
No, you're not allowed. You're a bad boy.
Wait, guys, sorry to bring it back to the simulation thing.
Yeah.
Tell me
but-
about the simulation.
Okay,
yeah.
so this has like what you're talking about, like giving yourself permission. So I was talking with the cashier about this simulation article, and he told me that actually he was reading an article about the simulation and that there are cheat codes that you can say to yourself as a mantra to fix like problems in your life. And there was this Buddhist monk who like mantraed away pneumonia with this cheat code, and it made me think, okay, if we are in a simulation, I bet the programmers of our simulation had us playing Sims as like a sick little way to be like, you don't
They
even
don't even
realize
know. They don't
you're
even
playing
know
the game.
these pawns.
Yeah, we're playing the game that you're playing,
Yeah.
but for real, you stupid bitch.
Yeah.
And then that made me think, what if the cheat code to getting whatever we want in our lives is rosebud, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. What if we just have to say that and we get as much money as we want? Like in Sims. You guys know what I'm talking about? The cheat code in Sims?
I didn't know that was
I
the
didn't
cheat
know that
code.
was the cheat
You
code. in
guys
Sims.
didn't know that's the cheat code in Sims.
But now it's
oh,
Okay, so with your simulation, so then are we in a brain in a vat, as they say? Are we a thing? Are we the simulation? Are we a brain hooked up to electrodes? Is it the Matrix? Did they get it right?
I think it's just a bigger human each time. So like I think the Sims that we're playing, there's like littler people inside that. And then there's even a bigger dude playing us on a computer.
yeah.
And
Do you
then
think the
even-
people in the
and even-
Sims are like,
And even us
our life
talking
kind of
about
sucks?
even
Yeah.
us talking about that is them being like a little like
yeah.
kinky. You know, they're
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
they're
they're
like, oh,
like,
let's let
oh.
them like
It's kinky for
there,
them.
let's let them get real close.
How
to
do you play
figuring
The
it out,
Sims?
you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, exactly.
Like, yeah.
Does this bring you comfort, the simulation idea?
Not at all. I don't like it. But sometimes something so kismet happens that I'm like, there's no way. There's no way this would happen unless somebody's pulling the strings somewhere. Like something, you ever have something so serendipitous happen that you're like,
I do, but I
what
think
do you
about
think when something like that happens?
I think about all the people who were eaten by a bear, and I go, they didn't get the serendipity, and I think I did. But like when the bear was eating them, I don't think they were like, "This is crazy. I'm one of the ones.
This is fate.
Must be a
this
simulation."
simulation.
I think they were thinking, ah, and I think it's wishful thinking. In those moments, so I go cool, and I feel the thing.
I think that's more right. I think that's right.
Oh, that's crazy, and I stop it right there.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. But isn't it fun?
Yeah,
to
isn't it
think
fun to get
about
kind
it?
of like weird about
Yeah,
it? You
like
know?
you so get
be like,
taken
what if
away.
it was? You know?
Yeah. What about you, Russell? What do you think? Like when something serendipitous happens?
I don't think I go full. I think I'm in between the two of you.
Yeah.
I can be drawn into a fun conspiracy though real quick.
Yeah.
I love this thing, and I'm like, sure, I can partially be in it, but then also be like, I don't really believe in anything. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel I do feel like sometimes though it feels like there's weird glitches where I'm like, it feels like something happened where it was a mistake.
Yeah.
Like this wasn't supposed to be the track that's supposed to be happening right now.
Sure.
Yeah.
And it feels like that right in the world right now. Sometimes things happen where you're like
When
you
you
know,
got cast in that Broadway show, I said something happened.
must be a wrong
There's a glitch.
Something went
There's
wrong.
a glitch. There's a glitch.
Yeah.
But I don't believe it, but I'm like, that's fun.
It is fun.
I'm
yeah.
like, it's fun to think about, you know?
Also, something that really fucks with my head, I think we've talked about this, is the idea of, I read somewhere once, and this is now I think about it all the time, is that anytime a civilization grows with enough knowledge to, oh God, now I'm forgetting it, to discover
Yeah.
alien life form,
Uh-huh.
it's too late. They're going to destroy themselves, like in some sort of way, because
Wait, what?
they just know too much.
You're saying that if we tell me if I'm wrong, like one of the theories of why I thought the theory of why we don't see aliens in general is that once a species gets intelligent enough, it destroys itself inherently.
Yes.
Oh.
And so, like, you know, there's a degree of with like when we talk
That's
about
like the AI.
spreading
Yeah.
misinformation
Yes.
or social media, and it's just like there's something inherent in our DNA that
that's what
destroy
will
ourselves.
Yeah, we destroy ourselves.
And as
before
fascism
we
takes
can-
over America,
Yeah.
it's hard not to feel that tickling you
Yeah.
as they
Holy shit.
they show signs at the sports stadiums that if you have a sign saying "Free
Yeah.
Palestine," they'll arrest you. You
Yeah,
go,
yeah.
"Oh my god, that's
and
the
then
thing."
AI, all the AI stuff, and you're like, wait a
The
minute.
robot
It
dogs.
feels like we're going to destroy ourselves before, and
Wow.
So,
I mean, that seems right. I also, so I got super into alien stuff during COVID, like just watching a bunch of alien documentaries and stuff.
Sure.
I love it.
And this one guy's theory, I forget his name, is that the aliens are waiting for us to be like more like okay with them. Like they don't want to come when we're ready to attack. Like right now we've been fed all these movies and
I
stuff that say
know.
aliens are dangerous and they don't feel safe contacting us, but that they watch us from a close distance.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that?
I love that.
Based on the way that we treat every animal on Earth,
Yeah, it's not safe.
I don't think we want anything smarter than us to ever visit us.
Yeah.
Because we
Yeah.
have shown that they will consume us.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's parts of us that are mighty tasty
Yeah.
Yeah.
to an alien mouth.
But I love the
for
idea
sure.
of if they're out there, they're just like kind of like coming in once in a while, zipping around, doing physics things that we can't do.
Yeah.
Just checking things out, but they're not
Just
like
pranksters.
not amongst us. I don't feel that they're amongst us right now. Like I don't feel.
Oh, really?
Well, that's because you didn't meet
Sorry,
Hillary
I don't
Clinton
feel like
in
that
person.
they're in a suit.
A skin suit. Oh,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah.
feel that. I
Right.
think that they fly around and maybe
They
they land
observe.
sometimes and they observe.
Yeah.
But I don't think that they are like leaders or anything like in
Yeah.
this costume. You know what
Right,
I mean?
right. Except for Hillary, maybe.
Yeah. Well,
But she's a robot.
my cynical podcast has gone off the rails. We're living in a simulation. Aliens are real. And this is all serendipity. This has got to stop. I'll keep it. This is sometimes people talk, they say the word content and or like a content creator and they go like, ugh, you just make content or whatever. And I go like, the world that before people made their own thing,
Mhm.
all that was people making content, but the people who were deciding to release it were a bunch of old fucking white guys who ran all the TV networks.
Yeah.
And there's this belief of like, there was this idealism, and I'm like, of what it used to be. And I'm like, no, it's just other people deciding, now some people, they press post themselves, and maybe there's too much of it, but there's like this idealization of like what it used to be. And it's like, no, there was a time where Lorne Michaels got to decide all the comedy, and now it's just some of the comedy.
Yeah.
And so there's just this like frustration or cynicism about the world of creativity and everyone releasing stuff. And there's frustrations to be had and to share, but it's just some version of like, people making things. And I'm like, people used to make things, and then people who you never saw decided what went out there.
Yeah, you never got to see it. It's a blessing to get to see all the shit that people make.
And there's just some we lend some kind of authenticity to the
Somebody's
people chosen
stamp of
in the
approval.
TV network thing. And you're like, well, who got that? Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my
I was chosen. He's the chosen.
Yeah, he believes it. He believes in serendipity. Let's go on to our final segment. You better count your blessings.
You better count your blessings.
Yes.
I want to give you, before I forget, it was, oh my God, your birthday wasn't too long ago, and I keep forgetting. This is a little bit late now. You're no longer in the Broadway show, but I always criticize Russell if he doesn't take voice lessons, and he's a Broadway star.
Wow.
And he was struggling with his voice. He was just losing his voice for 1 week. So I got, per my Broadway friend, all the things that you need for vocal care.
That is so
I got
nice.
you the sinus inhaler.
Gianmarco, this is like a real
And
thing.
then it's a real thing. And then
Oh my
Natalie, our friend who's in
gosh.
Wicked, told me all the things. These are what the Broadway people use.
Wait,
this
I
is
need
a
pictures.
vocal mist. And,
Gianmarco,
and the
this is
containers for it.
very nice.
I'm going to need
it is.
pictures of all this stuff.
And,
this is so generous.
And so for your next Broadway show, I want you to have all the things.
do you have an announcement? I haven't gotten. Tova hasn't contacted me yet.
No, I have no news. But these are the things
Thank
that
you.
know,
Oh my God,
happy
that's so
birthday.
nice. Well, that's my blessing. I truly, this was on my Amazon like cart.
Oh, is it really?
Well, I like just you keep things that you're like, if I do get another show, this is something.
You have a very sad Broadway Amazon cart. It's
I know.
always filled.
But there is a thing like there was a feeling of being left out doing the shows. Everyone would have them, and I'd be like,
everybody has these?
yeah, and
Wow.
you'd be like, first for a while you're like, I don't need that, and then at a certain
Yeah.
point you're like, everyone's
need
doing
that.
it, Yeah. Like I would like to feel what it's like,
They
and
make fun of you. They call you straight.
yeah.
Wow.
But this is so nice. Thank you, John
That is-
Marco.
You're such a good friend.
You're such a good friend.
Listen, I'm happy to give gifts when I am filming it.
You're like, I waited over a month to get the right moment. That's so kind. Thank you, John Marco.
You're welcome. My blessing. I've been doing my openers on the road. Liam Nelson helped me film that thing. I've been doing shows for so long now, and so constantly. I'm finally starting to mix it up a little and try to play with them. And so we tried this thing. I always joke with them. I'm like, when it won't be funny for anyone, but when the bridge collapsed in Baltimore, I was like, what if you went out there and your whole set, you talked about the bridge for 10 minutes, you just riffed.
Yeah.
And I would never force my openers to do that.
Yeah.
But I was like, one day we were in Boston on Friday. I was like, wouldn't it be funny if like you did have to do what we joked? What if you had to do Jim Gaffigan's Hot Pocket routine in its entirety during your set? And then we were like, oh, but what if we all had a challenge to do for our sets? And so for the last show in Boston, we got to choose each other's thing. And so like for the opener, he had to, at some point in the set, go Hot Pocket. He had to go, I get no respect at all. And then I ain't scared of you motherfuckers.
Oh, that's good.
For me, there was a curtain on stage and they said I had to use it like fully for 3 bits. And then for Liam, I picked his. I said, you have to lie down all the way on your back and tell a full joke, setup and punchline, fully laying down. And like, it's one of those things I was like, oh, we'll do it the next time we're together. And then I was like, no, let's do it now. And so we did it for the late show on Saturday, and it didn't ruin the show. That was the thing. I never want to ruin the show for the people who came for stand-up.
Right, yes.
But we did it.
Yeah, a little fun thing.
And then at the end, I told the audience what we had done, like in the closer, and they applauded. It was fun.
Yeah.
And it's just to have, especially when the two of them are opening together, they're old friends. Like it makes me feel braver in doing things, and they support it. They're like gung ho to do it.
Yeah.
And I just appreciate kind of having people willing to do that kind of thing. I'm sure the next thing we know, we'll, dicks out for one set or something crazy, and we'll go too far and then have to scale it back. But for now, it's fun.
Yeah.
It made me feel, it made me feel, I was like, I wasn't thinking about my set. I was just like, here's something fun. I was backstage. I was laughing for the first time in years. And so it's
instead of
just
like
nice.
going through all the stuff you need to remember, you just get to relax, sit into it.
And that's what I think, again, this is too much fawning, but I think like watching, it just felt like it unlocked a thing of like, I was like, oh yeah, I literally worked hard to be able to have my own stage for the night.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I can decide to do the thing here.
Yeah.
And I can, it's up to me what I want to do and
You're
where
the
I want
artist.
to push
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And yeah, especially once you start getting people there, you start feeling that feeling of like, well, I am the reason that the people are here. So I can fuck around a little bit.
Exactly. They want to see you fuck around too.
Yeah.
That makes it special.
They want to see you fuck.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Doesn't hurt.
Doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
Do you have a blessing?
I do. I had a few blessings. I wrote down so many things I'm grateful for. And something, man, I guess this is maybe the most fun one. Like having small conversations with strange people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you just run into like a real weirdo on the street, and you guys ever like get into it with like a...
I do, yeah.
You had an
Oh,
Uber
it's so
driver where
much
you
fun.
said she got through to you and you had a great conversation.
They
in
did,
LA.
but I don't think she was that strange.
Oh, sure.
But I know what you mean. Like a very small, like, wow, what? And you're like so curious about their everyday life, but just a glimpse.
Yeah, or
and
just
they're
like
very
talking to different characters or having them share something like really personal or special with, I don't know, like having, it's just fun to interact with people. I feel like so much of our lives are online that I feel like it's a gift to share like a small interaction with somebody. And you brought up an Uber driver.
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago when I was in New York, actually, I got into a conversation with my Uber driver and I was like, what's your passion or like, what's your dream? And he was like, oh, you're going to think it's far-fetched. And I was like, no, tell me. Like, nothing could surprise me. And he was like, well, I thought of it when I was really young and you're going to laugh. And I was like, I won't. Tell me. And he's like, okay, I want to get a woman pregnant in every single country.
I thought of when I was really young. You're gonna think I'm crazy.
Oh my God. I was like, okay, yeah, I do think that is far-fetched. And like, why?
Has he started?
No, he doesn't have any kids.
Yet.
And I actually
have to do so much work.
Yeah.
Every country.
Is
I
he
thought
doing-
continent for a second and I was like, well, maybe you could.
Is he doing anything to like get himself there right now?
No.
You know?
He
do you
was-
think you bring it
yeah.
up when you try to proposition? Like, do you say, hey, I just did Germany and France.
Oh my God.
Trying to get Portugal on here.
That
Yeah.
is so funny.
I mean, like that's beyond like fucking somebody in every country. Like it takes, sometimes people really have to try to get pregnant.
Yeah.
Keep having to go back to South Korea, just like, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, a
Good
good
luck.
Uber driver though.
Yeah.
Will they reveal.
Yeah. Sometimes people get really vulnerable.
Yeah.
Like when you just meet them. And I think it's a blessing to like
Yeah.
hear people's like unique experiences.
My friend Marla told me a story one time, and I always think of it in terms of like a weird interaction with someone. She was at a grocery store when she was in college, and she was getting groceries, and one of the things was yogurt, and the cashier goes, "Huh, so this is yogurt." And that I think about once a week. Like,
What?
huh, so this is yogurt. Like a
What?
cashier at a grocery store.
Oh my God.
Oh man.
Jesus.
kind of thing.
They had never
Man.
seen yogurt like come across their
So this is
conveyor
yogurt.
belts before.
Yeah. Oh.
And they got to try it.
Yeah.
I mean,
hopefully.
I think it's great.
Yeah.
That's a good, that's enough line. You could start a character out of that.
Yeah,
That's so
yeah,
rich.
Yeah.
Huh.
Just to justify how that
So
came to be.
This is yeah.
Wow.
So where can people find you?
People can find me on, do people call it X now?
We keep saying Twitter.
I he
think
yells at me when I say X, but
Yeah.
I think Twitter we say.
People can find me on. That's what I say. Still, I'm like,
it
it's
sounds
Twitter.
better.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at.
When you put X into Russell's browser, it is not going to Twitter. I'll tell you
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah. I gotta type it in a few times to get it to go there. You can find me on Twitter at natdog with a K, or on Instagram at Natalie Palamides, and you can see my live shows sometime if you want.
Yeah.
Please come. Thanks
Go.
so much for having me.
Of course. Russell, where can people find you?
Instagram at Russell J Daniels.
Anything coming up?
Nope.
For the listeners, join the patreon.com/downside. We're recording one next week, and I got a little treat at the end of it.
Oh.
So
What is it?
You'll see. And I just wanted to. Someone gave me after the Boston show fan mail for the two of us.
Oh.
So I just
Aw.
want to see if it says "I love you." It says "Love you guys."
That is
Let's see if
nice.
it's,
That's a nice
readable.
card.
Oh my god! Whoa! It's foldy and interactive.
Oh, it's
Okay, let me read it. It says, "Love you guys." Here you go. Never thought I'd buy tickets to a comedy show, or wish I was a theater kid. Oh, that's sweet.
Aww.
Oh my god! How do?
You
Oh,
did
here
the
we go.
wrong
I did the
order.
wrong way. Gianmarco and Russell. What the fuck? Okay.
Okay, this card's fucked.
This is incredible. Okay. Love you guys. Thanks for making me laugh so hard. I choked on popcorn while driving.
welcome.
Never thought I'd buy tickets to a comedy show or wish I was a theater kid, but here we are. And before that, and for keeping me good company while I move 6 wall hangings. And it's her making a carpet saying, lol, 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 lol. I think they're pretty good. Love you guys.
That is
Thank you so
so
much.
That's so sweet.
Thank you, Eliza.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Thank you, Eliza.
And Hilary Clinton, did you enjoy that episode?
Yes.
Okay, this is The Downside.
Yes.
You're listening to The Downside
The Downside.
with Gianmarco Soresi.